Can you sing?
Not tonight. Or this afternoon. I've got to correct myself today. We get so many habits of playing night games. I'm going to call this an afternoon game all afternoon.
I hope so.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Now you got the mic turned on.
the community is greatly saddened this week with the untimely passing of Jim Thornton. Jim graduated from Northeastern in 1967, where he was a standout running back on the football team and a member of Northeastern's 9-0 undefeated team in 1963. He was later inducted into Northeastern's Hall of Fame and was a past president and active member of the varsity clubs. At the time of his passing, Jim was the director of athletics at Madison Park High School. Would you please join us now for a moment of silence in Jim's memory? Thank you. Now please remain standing for our national anthem today, sung by Miss Barbara Cockrell.
The officials for this afternoon's hockey game, the referee is Joe Albert. The linesmen are Frank Bergola on the left of your screen and Rich Worthy on the right. In the net this afternoon for the Boston University Terriers, he was in the net for the victory Wednesday night over the Huskies. Terry Tolliver, the senior from Edmonton, Alberta.
Well, we know at the beginning of the year, Jack Parker was going to rotate the goaltenders. Lately, seems to be going with Tolliver. And as we said before, he's the player that got hot in the nets for him last year and carried them through the middle of the season.
At the other end of the ice, the Iron Man of the Northeastern Huskies, the junior from Ottawa, Ontario, number 30, Bruce Racine.
Now, Bruce Racine is an outstanding goaltender, and the only problem he's had is he seems to get tired as the season goes on, and the reason for that is they just don't have a backup that they feel confident in playing.
It'll be John Cullen to take the opening face-off for Boston University. Harry Muse for Northeastern. It's Muse, number 10, centering Dave O'Brien, number 12, and number 7, Rico Rossi for Northeastern. Cullen, number 19, between number 9, Ed Lowney, and number 22, Ville Kentola for Boston University. Jay Octo, number 3, on defense with Scott Shaughnessy, number 4. Octo's bumped it in. Racine had trouble with it behind the net. Brian Dowd gave it away to Cullen. His centering pass was blocked, and the Huskies cleared it away to center ice. Long pass from Shaughnessy, intended for Kentola, went to Lowney instead. He got knocked down by Steve Schofield, number 26. Shaughnessy with a drive right on. The save made by Racine, and the rebound was cleared away. Brian Dowd for Rossi. An aerial pass that he could not handle. Icing the call against the Huskies. 36 seconds played, no score.
Sean, for those who might not have heard that announcement from the public address system, the moment of silence before the national anthem was for Jimmy Thornton, outstanding football player here at Northeastern, who passed away this past week. He's a member of the Northeastern Hall of Fame and just a great football player. Here's a Racine saves, a shot from the outside by Shaughnessy. Shaughnessy generated some good offense from that point in the last game. Coming in for the rebound, Lowney, you got to clear him out of there if they're going to keep BU off the boards here early.
Off the face-off, the Terriers keep it in the zone. Mike Telfer to Scott Young. He got knocked down by Dave Buda, number 22. It's Bill Whitfield for the Huskies, number 25. His pass was too far ahead of Greg Pratt. And offside, Tom Bavona, number 18 of Northeastern.
one of the reasons that BU has been effective in this rink is that they are a forechecking team. When they're on their game, they're very, very quick to get on the puck. And in this rink, if you're quick to get on the puck, you can make defensemen make errors because there's just not a lot of room back there.
Mike Kelfer and Tom Bavona on the face-off, won by Northeastern. Marty Rouse, number 5, dumped it in for the Huskies. Greg Pratt fanned on the pass attempt. Tom Ryan took it back for BU. Now Clark Donatelli lost it along the boards to Buda. Scott Young takes it back ahead to Kelfer. And that play offside as BU came across the line. Last game for Scott Young till January 7th in a BU uniform. He'll head off to Prague, Czechoslovakia, along with Mike Kelfer and assistant coach Ben Smith.
A team that's not quite as strong as another team in skaters can tie a team up in this rink because of the limited space to move in, particularly in the center zone.
David Quinn, number 7. His pass was blocked and sent back into the zone by Andy May. Now Tom Ryan, number 11. Center ice, and he dumps it into the near corner. Racine pokes it to the board. Donatelli battling for it, as is Young. It's the Huskies who come away with it. Andy May lost it to Kelfer. Kelfer ahead to Young. Young into the circle, bothered by Joe McGinnis, number 16, got taken head first into the boards, and it's Mike McDougall, number 23 of the Huskies. Across the line, along the boards, tried to dump it to Andy May. Kelfer took it back. It's 2-on-1 with Scott Sanders across the line. Across to Sanders, in alone, and he hit the goal post. Joe McGinnis picks up the free puck. The junior from Watertown dumps it in. Terry Tolliver leaves it for Chris Werner, number 20. Long pass to right wing for Sanders. Jerry Kiley got a piece of it for Northeastern. Roman Canal, number 11, there to play it. To Brian Dowd. His pass intended for Heffernan was behind Heffernan. Werner back in his own zone. Didn't get it out. Tom Much kept it in. To Kevin Heffernan, number 17. Tried to get it back to Much. It was blocked. Heffernan tied up by Mike Sullivan, number 24. Heffernan kicks it free. Werner and Much battling for it. The puck goes behind the net. Dave Thiesing there for BU, number 2. The senior from Westboro across his own line and through center, dumping it in. Racine couldn't play it. Canal and Sanders in the corner. Puck comes free to Kevin Heffernan, the junior from Weymouth. He lost the puck and now sends it ahead to Canal. Back for Kevin Heffernan. Across the line. Tried to feed Much. The pass was ahead of him. Much had stopped at the top of the circle. Much has it back to Canal. His shot kicked out by Tolliver. Kept in at the line by Dowd to Heffernan. His pass blocked by Thiesing. Canal threw it behind the net. No Huskies there. Sanders sweeps it around the boards. Kept in by Schofield. His drive was tipped. Along the near boards, LaBrosse got it ahead to Sanders. Icing waved off as Steve Schofield plays it to Brian Dowd. Long pass ahead to Harry Muse. O'Brien back to Muse. Muse tries a shot, kicked out by Tolliver. 16:25 to play, first period, no score. Northeastern hosting Boston University. David O'Brien into the circle behind the net to Muse. Bumped by Jay Octo. Octo poked the puck away. O'Brien has it back for Northeastern. Bothered by Shaughnessy. Got it back at the line to Schofield. Blocked by Lowney. Cullen looking to break away. But Dowd gets back there first for Northeastern. 2 forecheckers in deep for BU. Octo takes the pass back at center ice. And Cullen dumps it in. Dowd moving across his own line. It's 3-on-2 as he crosses the Boston University line, but Muse was offside. 15:48 to play in the first period. No score.
Nice feed by Mike Kelfer over to Scott Young. Young on the right wing is going to hit the post, near post, deflected. Scott Sanders, rather, off that near post. Now the tough corner play. That's what really comes in this rink is Octo putting Muse into the boards. We'll see a lot of that before the night is over because this is two very aggressive teams, and you can put aggressive forecheck consistently on in this arena.
And we all know you meant to say before the afternoon is over.
I did it already.
Tom Bavona behind the net. Got stopped by David Quinn. The Terriers couldn't clear it out. Rouse's drive goes wide. Free puck in the far corner. Quinn takes the hit from Bavona. They look for a face-off and get it. 15:28 to play in the first period. BU nothing, Northeastern nothing.
Northeastern's had 2 nice 3-on-2 breaks in the early stages and have not been able to convert on either one of them. The last one, Dowd The two wings went offside, and the one before that, Much and Heffernan, didn't read each other properly and weren't able to get a shot off the 3-on-2 break. You got to take advantage of those when they come.
John Preston, number 18, taking the draw for BU, playing in his first varsity game. He's a freshman from Arlington. Dressing this afternoon because Jeff Speed is sidelined with the flu. Ian Wood threw it behind the net for BU. Matt Pest-Lewis, number 23, dug it free. Preston took a hit from Bavona. And Buda sent it away to Greg Pratt. It's 1-on-3 for the time being. He tried to go around Ryan and got knocked down. And Wood cleared it away. The length of the ice, no icing. And Rouse back to play it for Northeastern. 15 minutes to play in the first period, no score. Greg Pratt ahead to Tom Bavona. He got around Ryan, got the puck ahead to Dave Buda. Now Pratt takes a shot, hit the side of the net. Pest-Lewis sent it to an open wing. Bill Whitfield takes it back for Northeastern. He's a senior from Natick. Ahead to Andy May, who just hopped off the bench. Now Chris Cuniff, number 28. Tries to put it out in front. May got a stick on it, but it went wide. Young stopped by McGinnis. McGinnis couldn't keep it in. Now throws it back across the line. Dave Thiesing has it for BU. Long pass did not connect with any of the Terriers, and icing the call against Boston University. We mentioned seconds ago being tough in the corner, and here's another example of it.
Chris Cuniff gets his baptism to hockey east as he gets popped in the corner by Dave Thiesing. Tough hit.
Cuniff to take the face-off. He's a sophomore from South Boston, playing in his third varsity game. He's also the son of Bruins assistant coach John Cuniff. Battle for the puck along the boards. It goes to Clark Donatelli. He banks it ahead to Kelfer. Kelfer 2-on-2 across the line with Young. Ran into some traffic. Donatelli lost it. And McDougall clears it away for Northeastern. That will be icing against the Huskies. Clock stopped with 14:03 remaining in the first period. No score.
The other night against Northeastern, the Donatelli-Kelfer Young line, which we haven't seen a lot of. Used to seeing Donatelli, particularly last year, playing with Cullen and Lowney. That Donatelli-Kelfer Young line was an excellent line the other night against Northeastern.
They're out there now against the Cuniff McGinnis May line of the Huskies. Off the face-off, Mike McDougall. Ahead to McGinnis, had trouble with it in his skates. Werner took it back to BU, threw it off the left wing boards to Kelfer. He got stopped by McDougall. McDougall retreats to the corner, gives it to Cuniff. He didn't get it out. Thiesing kept it in. His drive struck Young. Kelfer with the free puck. Looking back toward the point, bothered by McDougall, and it's McGinnis. Losing it to Thiesing. Kelfer plays it back to Werner. 13:35 to play. First period, no score. McGinnis drives it in for the Huskies, and Northeastern gets a line change. Thiesing and Werner on defense. Kelfer, Young, and Donatelli up front. Here comes Kelfer across the line with Donatelli. He got knocked down by Jerry Kiley. Much picked up the puck. Long flip pass to Heffernan. Has Canal coming up with him. Plays it back toward Much. It was poked away by Young. Kept in by Dowd. Now Octo ahead to Donatelli. He's been out there for a while. Gives it off to Sullivan. Had it poked to the corner by Schofield. He threw it back in front. And Much sent it to center ice for Northeastern. Octo. The freshman Mike Sullivan. He's from Marshfield. Gets tied up by Kiley. Now Schofield, was tying up Sullivan in the neutral zone, and Dowd flipped it away for Northeastern, icing the call against the Huskies.
BU just missed there. LaBrosse and Sanders were holding on that right blue line, and Octo got tied up in the middle. Couldn't move it over there. They'd have burst it alone if they'd gotten the puck.
Looking at Brian Dowd, junior from Hamilton, Ontario. Had one career goal prior to this season and 2 previous seasons. Has 3 already in 13 games this year.
Up and down action, both teams. Northeastern's actually had the better of the opportunities in the BU, and not as well as they started off the other night, but still, they're playing very well in the first period.
Faceoff goes back to Octo. He throws it behind the net. LaBrosse picks it up there. Eric LaBrosse, number 15, junior from Montreal, bothered by Heffernan along the boards. Taken back by Schofield ahead to Tom Much, the freshman from Canton. Drove it right on net. Tolliver kicked it to the corner. Octo and Heffernan battling for it there. The free puck goes to Canal. Back to the point. Dowd. His drive blocked by LaBrosse. Bottom of the circle. Much threw it out in front, and Tolliver covers the puck.
Just as you described that, Sean, Much did throw the puck out in front, exactly what he intended to do. Tolliver tried to clear the puck, and in clearing it out from in front of him, almost knocked it in his own net. Watch us have some trouble with it as the puck deflects, sitting right there in front. Octo is able to hold off number 11, Roman Canal. That puck right at Tolliver's feet.
Tom Much was an outstanding baseball player at Canton High School, was recruited to play baseball by many schools. His brother Kevin, a former BU Terrier of note, and now playing in Holland, and he's the leading scorer in Holland. Cullen, Kentola, and Lowney the forward line for BU, with Quinn and Ryan on defense. It's Muse, Rossi, O'Brien, Rouse, and Whitfield for Northeastern. David Quinn, the junior from Cranston, Rhode Island, fanned on the puck and retreats back to his own line for it. Ahead to Kentola, bothered by Whitfield. Now Ryan again retreats to his own zone and feeds Ville Kentola, the freshman from Helsinki, Finland, bothered by O'Brien. The puck taken away by Rouse. Around the boards to Rossi. Ahead for Muse. Muse has O'Brien coming up with him. Muse tried to feed O'Brien, and Quinn blocked the pass. Rouse. And now Ryan of BU. Junior from Newton got it outside the line. Rossi took it back, played it back to Whitfield. Had it blocked by Lowney. Lowney in the circle to Cullen. He was stopped by Rouse. Rico Rossi had his pass blocked by Lowney. Lowney went down. Cullen in the corner. Throws it to the near boards to Kentola. Back to the line to Quinn. Quinn tosses it behind the net. Cullen there. Threw it out in front. It hops back to Ryan. Again behind the net. And now along the near boards, David O'Brien sends it the length of the ice for the Huskies. Icing the call. 11:03 to play. First period, no score.
Mathis Arena on the campus of Northeastern University. Nothing to score. 11:03 remains of the first period, BU and Northeastern.
The line for Northeastern. Bavona between Buda and Pratt. This line scored both of the goals the other night for the Huskies. It's Preston, Wood, and Tess Lewis, the forward three for BU. Puck in the corner. Tom Bavona sweeps it around the boards. Pratt and Preston go into the corner. Kiley and Pest Lewis also there. Wood tried to dig it free, did so to Pest Lewis. Bouncing puck out in front, grabbed by Bruce Racine.
And wide open points there, going through traffic off that tie-up along the boards. Pest Lewis had a chance to pass that puck out to Werner. Northeastern on the point chose to continue in the jumble and didn't get anything off. Watch him come through across the face-off circle at the point. And watch everybody from Northeastern sag to the inside as he gets that puck. See both points wide open as the two forwards responsible are inside.
Off the face-off, the Huskies cleared it back to the BU zone. Icing waved off, and Thiesing plays it behind his own net. Ahead to Pest Lewis. Now Preston, he got knocked down by Kiley. McDougall tried to feed Pratt. Pass was a stride ahead of him. Werner off the boards to Wood, and he got hit by Kiley. Kiley's knocked down Wood and Preston in close succession. Buda tried to feed Bavona. The pass was behind him, and Bavona is offside as he gets up and touches the puck. 10:18 to play, first period, no score. Northeastern hosting BU. Ian Wood, his brother Randy, a terrific player at Yale, an all-New England player, and now the leading scorer for the Springfield Kings in the AHL. He's in the New York Islanders farm system.
Ian Wood, another one of the number of Hockey East players we see from St. Mark's School.
Mike Telfer across the line for BU. His drive went over the net. The long rebound goes all the way back to the BU zone. Scott Shaughnessy with Cunniff in pursuit. He treats behind his own net. It's been a penalty-free first period thus far. Schofield flips it in. Octo has it back for BU. Jay Octo, senior from Johnston, Rhode Island, dumps it into the corner. Dowd there to play it for Northeastern. Ahead to May. He got it outside the line. Octo back at his own line with it. Ahead to Scott Young. And now Clark Donatelli pokes it into the zone. Penalty here behind the play. Slashing is the call. This is NESN, your New England sports network. For BU, Cullen behind the net. Gives it off to Tom Ryan. Ryan throws it back in the corner for Cullen. Kiley got a stick on it. Kiley has Cullen tied up. Kentola with it. Whitfield running at him. Now Cullen with it behind the net. Out in front to Lowney. Racine got a pad on it, and he blocked the follow-up from Ryan as well. Racine and Kiley freezing the puck in the crease.
Good pressure by Boston University.
We understand moments ago we had a slight power failure back at the Nesson studios. We apologize for any inconvenience this may have caused, and we understand everything's back under control now. Power failures are the thing of the week. The Boston Garden bothered by one earlier and nearly threatened the game with the Vancouver Canucks on Thursday.
BU had its best chance of the period as Cullen fed Lowney right out in front, and Lowney hit the post.
A minute 25 left on the BU power play. 9 minutes to play in the first period. No score. Ed Lowney, the senior from Revere, into the corner. Now Cullen behind the net. Looking out in front, gives it to Ryan, side of the circle, back to the point to Young. His drive went wide, and McDougall cleared it away off the stick of Ryan. They say Ryan hit it with a high stick, and that face-off is going to go all the way down in the BU zone.
Once again, whenever Scott Young is on the power play, he plays a single point, as when the puck is in deep, they play one man outside, two men halfway in, and two men deep. Let Young key the whole power play from the outside. Watch him. He's a single point man out there, right from the middle, gets the pass, deflected wide.
Jack Parker down on the bench, hollering out at Joe Albert. I don't think he agrees with the call, the face-off coming all the way down to the left of Terry Tolliver. Down to 1 minute left on the power play. Cuniff off for slashing for Northeastern. 8:35 to play in the first period here at Matthews Arena. No score. Young, long pass cross ice to Cullen. Cullen got tangled up with Lowney and Rossi. Rossi trying to kick it out, and he does. Scott Young to Ville Kentola. Trying to move away from Rossi. Kentola lost the puck and his stick. Cullen has it back to BU. And Kentola pushed down Rossi, and Kentola is going off for interference. Got a little bit frustrated in Ville Kentola when Rossi took his stick away. He shoved Rossi to the ice, and he's going off. 8:12 to play in a scoreless first period.
At 11:48 of the first period, Ville Kentola even sides as he takes exception to Rico Rossi grabbing his stick. Going to go back to see Rossi, discuss the issue with him, gives him a left in the face, and goes off.
Kentola off for interference at 11:48 of the first period. It'll be 4-on-4 for another 30 seconds. Then the Huskies get Cuniff back, and they'll go to the power play. Mike McDougall racing Donatelli for the puck. McDougall played it around the boards to Buda. Buda back to Kiley. Ahead for Buda, taken away by Kelper. He lost the puck. Buda lost his stick. We have a penalty coming up here, and it's going against Northeastern. As McDougall touches the puck, tripping is the call. So after a relatively penalty-free start, things picking up here. Joe Albert has called his third penalty in close succession, and Dave Buda is going off for tripping. His stick really got caught in the skate of Mike Kelfer.
We had 10 minutes of penalty-free action, but Northeastern didn't get to be the most penalized team in the league by accident. There's Buda. That was an accidental placement of the stick inside the skates, but tripped nonetheless.
That prevents Jack Parker's team from being shorthanded as they would have been when Cuniff's penalty expired. Jack's 24-10 in his career against Northeastern, including the win Wednesday night at BU 4-2 over the Huskies. Kelfer and Muse on the face-off, won by Northeastern. They could not clear it out. It's 4-on-3 for the Terriers at the moment. That'll last 3 more seconds when Cuniff comes out. He's out. And the Huskies back at even strength. Rouse, a long pass for David O'Brien, did not connect. Tolliver has to play it and cover it, as O'Brien was the only man moving in.
And down at the other end, Racine got a funny bounce off the sideboards, went behind the net to stop the puck as it rolled around, and rather than going around, it came back toward the net. He had to be very alert to stop the puck and clear it away from the front of the cage. Old rink. This place has some real funny hops. Watch that puck hit that little corner in there, hits a piece of the boards, and then comes right out. Racine, who goes around to clear it, has to stop it and stop it from going in front, and that's the reason it was cleared down the other end of the ice, because they were a little discombobulated in the zone.
Minute 10 left on the penalty to Kentola. Minute 34 left on the penalty to Buda. Mike Sullivan lost it to Marty Rouse. Quinn diving to keep it in. pushed it into the circle. Rouse takes it back for Northeastern. Now Bill Whitfield, the assistant captain of the Huskies, ahead for Muse. He lost it. Ryan threw it off the boards to Sullivan. Sanders picks up the free puck. Didn't get good wood on the rolling puck, and it's Rouse with the rebound behind the net and into the circle. Band on the pass. Sullivan has it back, looking out in front. Had it blocked by O'Brien. Sanders picking up the loose puck. Cross ice to Ryan into the circle. His drive went wide. Long rebound. Quinn could not get over there in time to keep it in. Quinn back across the line. Got bumped by Rouse. Throws it in the direction of the net. It went high and wide. Young keeps it in, into the circle. His drive deflected out in front. Rouse with the rebound, couldn't get it out. Quinn kept it in, threw it behind the net. 6:25 to play in a scoreless first period. Rouse flips it high in the air for O'Brien, trying to move around Young. They both go down. O'Brien gets back up with it, and Quinn took it away. His pass blocked by Pavona. Quinn with it behind the net. BU now on the power play for 22 seconds as Kentela's penalty expires. Lowney's drive blocked out of the rink by Bruce Racine. 18 seconds left on the BU power play as Don McKenney, the assistant coach of the Huskies, looks on. He's been here for the entire 17 years with Fern Flamet as his right-hand man, former teammate with the Bruins and good friend.
Well, he was a great goal scorer himself in the old 16 league. Don McKenney, never a big player, very slender. Looks now as he did when he was a younger player, but had tremendous ability to set players up and to score goals himself. Very good in the offensive end.
Cullen to take the face-off with the freshman Tom Bavona. Now it's Jerry Kiley, the senior from Belmont. Bothered by Kentela, taken into the boards by Kentela. Lowney got tangled up with the referee, Joe Albert. Shaughnessy kept it into the line. His drive struck Cullen, and Bavona sweeps it away for NU. That'll do it on the abbreviated BU power play as Buda comes out. The Huskies back at full strength with 5:45 to play in the first period. No score. Octo ahead for Cullen. Cullen across the line, 3-on-2. Into the slot, into the circle. Lost it as McDougal tied him up. Back of the line, Octo. Wrist shot through a crowd, blocked, and the rebound poked to the corner by Kentela. Mike McDougal with the puck. His pass kept in by Lowney, then he had to go back to the neutral zone with it. Lowney back across the line, ahead for Cullen. Too far ahead, he goes to the corner. It gets deflected back to Octo. His drive struck a skate in front. McDougal with it for Northeastern. Didn't bank it out. Octo kept it in, threw it behind the net. Racine let it go. Kiley pokes it up the boards from May. Shaughnessy kept it in. Now Kiley throws it back to center ice. Kentela with it with 5 minutes remaining in the period. That play very definitely offside. We'll take a break. 4:58 to play in period one. No score.
4:58 left in the first period. Nothing to score. Boston University, Northeastern.
And on the face-off, Whitfield got it to May. His pass taken back by Kelfer, who dumped it in for BU. Racine leaves it for Bill Whitfield. Ahead for Andy May, the freshman. Lost it to Kelfer. Kelfer behind the net. Knocked down. His centering pass shot wide by Young. Donatelli got it back behind the net. Rouse poked it away from two Terriers to Joe McGinnis. Traps place with the Toronto Maple Leafs into center ice. Now Rouse a long drive, blocked by Tolliver. Long drive, but has some starch on it. Now Quinn ahead to Donatelli with 4:20 remaining in a scoreless first period. Kelfer's shot from outside the line, blocked by Racine, and he covers the puck. Tonight, NESN will take you to Las Vegas, Nevada for the 1986 National Rodeo Finals. Don't miss the best in national rodeo competition. The excitement begins at 8:30. Live here on NESN, we deliver. I've been watching some of that rodeo. This isn't the only rodeo we've had lately on NESN, and I don't know how or really why those guys do it.
The clowns
Jumping
are the
off
guys
horses onto cows and strangling them to the ground. It's not my idea of a fun evening's work.
Yeah, the clowns in the barrels. That's the one I don't want.
Off the face-off, the Huskies cleared it away. Here's Dave Thiesing. Stopped by Rossi. The Huskies couldn't keep it into the line. O'Brien had to wait in the neutral zone. Now Dowd flips it back to the line. Rossi pokes it in. Wrapped up by Thiesing, and LaBrosse sent it back to center ice for BU. Dowd throws it right back in. We're down to 3:50 to play in the first period. No score. Battle for the puck in the corner. Thiesing threw it behind the net to Chris Werner. Schofield kept it in. His drive steered to the corner by Tolliver. Werner fanned on it. Muse kicked it free, but Mike Sullivan has it back for BU. Ahead to Scott Sanders, junior from Mississauga, Ontario. Got it ahead. Dowd and LaBrosse racing after him now. Tried to spin away from LaBrosse. Sanders with the puck. Tried to throw it in front. Hughes blocked it and banks it out. They waved off icing, and Jack Parker didn't like it.
I don't understand why they did. I wouldn't like it either.
He came running down the bench and shouted at Frank Pergola from behind. 3:05 to play. In the first period, Northeastern hosting BU, no score. Tolliver past the cover as Dave Buda came swooping in. Buda, the draft choice of the Boston Bruins, number 22, scored both Northeastern goals in the 4-2 loss to the Terriers Wednesday night.
Well, puck takes some strange bounces in this rink. Whenever it goes in the corners, you have to be very alert, both as a defenseman, as a goaltender, and taking advantage of your forward. That puck comes directly out onto Tolliver, who wisely freezes it. A goaltender cannot fall asleep in this place because there's funny things happen.
Scott Shaughnessy behind the net. The draft choice of the Quebec Nordiques. His pass did not connect with Preston or Pest-Lewis, but rolled into Racine, who covers the puck.
You know, there you see an example of the difference in this building, this rink. Normally, in that kind of situation, when a puck is dumped in from that distance to Racine, he has enough time to stop it, clear it, and set somebody up. The distance is so short here that you don't have that time. So in a number of cases, when you see pucks dumped in from a long way away and the goaltender freezing, he has to take a face-off because the on-rushing forwards are too close.
2:45 to play, first period. No score. BU and Northeastern. Off the draw goes back to Shaughnessy. His drive went wide. The rebound goes to Greg Pratt. The captain of the Huskies did not clear it out. It was kept in at the line by Kentola. Racine behind the net, lost it. Ed Lowney back to the point to Shaughnessy. Cross ice to Octo. Octo throws it behind the net for Cullen. Cullen out in front to Lowney. His shot right on, and Racine blocked it. Now it's Dave Buda of Northeastern banging it off the board. Pratt and Octo race after it. And it's Cullen for Boston University. Takes the shot from the top of the circle and shot it over the net. Back on the line, Shaughnessy missed the short side. Octo up to keep the rebound in. He got knocked down by Pratt. Behind the net, Cullen looking out in front. Wrapped up by Kiley. Puck hops high in the air. Kiley falls down. Kentola picks up the puck. Kentola battling two Huskies for it. Now Greg Pratt. Got stopped by Octo, his former teammate at Mount St. Charles Academy and close friend, dumps it in. Down to 1:40 to play in the first period. No score. Quinn banked it off the boards. May back across the line for the Huskies. Stopped by Quinn, and Ryan picks up the free puck. Tom Ryan, draft choice of the Pittsburgh Penguins, did not connect with Young. Andy May along the near boards, flips it across the line, but Heffernan was offside. Clock stopped with 1:21 remaining. No score here in the first period.
Those defensemen that like to play aggressively and like to slide down the boards, this is a good place to do it in as well. You really can make a move aggressively down the boards more in this rink than just about any others. Here's Quinn playing that one-on-one defense. Great one-on-one defense. Puck well off to the left, and Quinn takes the man off to the right. Excellent play.
Hangs on to the puck as he was having trouble getting it out of his glove. Terry Tolliver, MVP of the Beanpot last year, leading the Terriers to the Beanpot Championship, also a draft choice of the Boston Bruins. Heffernan on the faceoff with Kelfer. Won by Kelfer back to Ryan. They're going to try that again.
Strange looking faceoff. Some moved and some didn't.
Faceoff again controlled by Kelfer. Ryan got it back to Kelfer. He lost it to May. May for Heffernan, knocked down by Quinn. And Donatelli picks up the puck. Cross ice to Young. Whitfield blocked the clearing effort. Ryan knocked down the puck, lost it to Heffernan. Now it's Andy May, shot right on, and Tolliver made the save.
Well, this is one of those high bouncing pucks that everybody was losing. Here's Heffernan in the zone. BU gets tied up with Heffernan, loses sight of the puck. May comes in, gets a rolling shot on Tolliver, and he's able to make the stop. There's Heffernan. Now watch the red shirts converge on Heffernan. Now May comes loose, gets the bouncer off. Alert Tolliver makes the stop, freezes the puck for the face-off to his left.
BU came into the game 5-7-1 in Hockey East, fourth place. 6 points behind third place Maine. Maine was victorious last night over Colorado College. And the Terriers 13 points behind first place Boston College. Huskies of Northeastern 3-8-2 in Hockey East play, 3-9-2 overall. 8 points in 6th place in Hockey East, 1 point behind 5th place Providence. We're down to 35 seconds to play in the first period. Jay Octo to Scott Shaughnessy. O'Brien into forecheck. Shaughnessy back with it along the boards. Octo dumps it in. The play is offside at the line. 19 seconds to play. Jay Octo, second-team All-American a year ago, and a player that I don't think gets as much publicity around the league as other players of his ability.
Well, he's small. He's not physically impressive. He doesn't do a lot of flashy things out on the ice, but he's very solid.
One of the strongest Terriers. Shaughnessy a drive right in. Steered to the corner by Racine. Muse with the free puck. We're in the final 10 seconds of the first period. LeBras had it blocked by O'Brien. 5 seconds left. Rossi knocked it down. O'Brien was offside. 3 seconds remaining in the first period.
You know, a player like Shaughnessy is a much bigger player, so he attracts attention. Quinn is a flashier kind of player, a great open ice skater. And Octo is a very solid player, and you tend, when you watch the BU defenseman, not to notice him as much, but he's a very effective player, good at the offensive blue line, good on the defensive end, solid all around.
Off the face-off, that's the end of the first period. One of the few scoreless, if any, scoreless periods I can remember this year that we've seen in Hockey East, Bob.
Yeah, not much to choose from by either team. Both teams had their chances, played up and down. An unusual period in the sense that this place usually lends itself to some clutch and grab and a lot of corner play, and it was a pretty open ice period with a good flow up and down.
No score at the end of the first period. Coming up next, we'll talk with BU coach Jack Parker when Hockey East action on Nesson continues. Jack, not too often this day and age we see a scoreless first period, both teams with some chances. And how do you evaluate your team's performance in the first period?
I thought we played pretty well, especially in our own end. We didn't give up a lot of good chances there, and we played the blue line pretty well. I think we can, in this building, it's sometimes some goals can explode because of the shape of the rink, and sometimes it's difficult to get offense going. It's a funny building to explain, but I'm always happy to see a low-scoring game.
Jack, one question. You talk about it being a tough building to explain, and it is. Do you do anything differently when you come in here? Do you teach the kids anything different in the practices before the game?
Yeah, we keep talking about the fact that you have to go indirect off the boards. The indirect, so many times, if you try to go direct, you wind up hitting somebody because there's not much room in here. They play the angles of the passes and the passing lanes, and all of a sudden the puck jumps the other way. So if you just put it in the center ice off the boards, you usually can skate to the puck and not worry about it hitting anybody. And that's an important part of getting the puck out of our zone, especially 10 feet inside our own blue line, and making some plays in center ice is to go indirect there, too.
Jack, we've talked a little bit this afternoon about the fact that after this, Mike Kelfer and Scott Young are going to head off for the World Junior Tournament. That line has started to play pretty well together along with Clark Donatelli. Have you given any thought to what you're going to do when those guys leave as far as jumbling up the lines once again?
Not really. We'll have to find some place to put Donatelli. I'm not sure where. He might go on Sullivan's line in LeBras' spot and let LeBras play with somebody else because he plays well with Scotty Sanders, too. In all probability, I'll keep the red line the way it has been, and because they've been playing pretty well since I moved Kentler up there. So most part, we'll probably keep the red line that way, and when Sveen gets back, we'll keep his line of Sveen, Regan, and Wood together, and then everybody else will be jumbled up a little.
All right, thanks, Jack.
Okay, see ya.
Bye-bye. The leading scorer of the Northeastern University Huskies, David O'Brien, is down below. David, Sean McDonough along with Bob Norton, we appreciate you taking the time out to speak with us and your thoughts about the way the first period went from the Huskies' perspective.
Well, Sean, we're trying to play a defensive game. We don't want to get in a shootout with them, and I don't think anybody really dominated the game. We stuck to our game plan and picked up our wingers, and the defense stood up really well. And I think we're happy about the period. It's 0-0, and we're going to try to get more scoring opportunities in the next 2 periods.
David, we talked a lot about you being a walk-on coming over here without being heavily recruited. When you came over, what did you think your chances were to play Hockey East, and what gave you the confidence to play?
Well, I talked to Gary Fay before I come over here, and I used to follow the 3 schools in the Boston area. And I thought I had a good chance to make the team. I knew some of the freshmen that were coming in, and you know, I played with them before, and I thought, you know, I was, you know, just the same at par with them. So I decided to give it a tryout, and you know, I went through the JV tryouts, and it looked like, you know, I was one of the better players, and fortunately they gave me the opportunity to play, and you know, I've been with the team ever since.
Well, we know that they're pretty glad they did give you the opportunity to play with 23 goals a year ago. I also know it's probably a little bit tougher to hear us right now with the band, the way they're blasting away in your ear. How about the other night, David? I thought you guys, the Huskies, played pretty well. It seemed that the power play really hurt you guys going over 6. You can't hear us, can you? We're back, and we want to get to David O'Brien quickly before the band starts again. David, the power play the other night, 0 for 6. Did you guys work on it the last couple of days and try to do some things differently this afternoon?
Yeah, Sean, we've been working on it a lot. We don't have Claude Loden back there. He's been out with an injury, and he's a key factor back there in our defense. Yesterday in practice, we spent maybe a half hour, 45 minutes working on different things, and hopefully we can straighten it out tonight. We had one power play earlier on, and we didn't get many opportunities. I think we got another penalty, but you know, we hope that we'll have a few more opportunities later on.
Even back on the point on the power play, you enjoying that? Playing the point on the power play, David? Is that something you're enjoying?
Oh yeah, you get a lot of scoring opportunities playing the power play, and you get a lot more ice time, and you get to get into the game more when you're playing a lot more. So I enjoy playing the power play. I enjoy playing on defense also, float out.
Thanks very much, David. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
David O'Brien, our guest at the end of one period. We're back at Matthews Arena this afternoon. No score. BU and Northeastern at the end of one period. Tonight in hockey, East play UNH is at Boston College. That game will be played at Harvard's Bright Center at 7:30. The Eagles in the midst of a long winning streak, 9 games. Their record 12-2, and they've opened up a 5-point lead over the Lowell Chiefs. The Chiefs in action tonight as they host Colorado College, which lost to Maine last night up in Orono. The Black Bears of Maine hosting Spartak from the Soviet Union. So if you're up in the Orono area, we don't know if tickets are still available for that or not, but you might want to check with the Alpha Narita ticket office, and that is always a good show when the collegiate teams play host to a team from the Soviet Union.
Well, you have to be very disciplined when you play against those guys. The number one thing I remember when I coached against the Czechoslovak team was how old they were, how mature. You think you're playing against a group of college guys, but it isn't so.
No. Both teams at full and equal strength as we begin the second period. And Northeastern controls the face-off. Brian Dowd backhands it into the zone. Scott Shaughnessy back after it. His pass struck the back of the net, went to Ed Lowney, number 9. Now John Cullen, the captain of the Terriers, number 19. Cross for Kentel, although the pass was behind him and the play was offside.
Yeah, I think if Cullen had that one back, he'd have dumped that in. He had a pretty good break on that left side. Kentel was coming through the middle with a lot of steam and tried to make a pass, didn't make a good one. Had he dumped it in, Kentel might have gotten to it first.
John Cullen with 207 career points. One more will tie him for second place on the all-time BU point list with Mike Ruzioni. 3 more, and he ties Rick Mahar. So he's going to become the all-time BU leading scorer very shortly.
Yeah, and to be critical a little bit, Sean, the one thing I think he's not doing this year is shooting enough when he gets in a good shooting position. He could be scoring more goals. He sometimes gives up a good shot, try to create a better one, and takes himself out of position.
Dave O'Brien into the circle. His drive blocked by Tolliver, comes to the near corner. Rossi tried to throw it into the corner. Lowney blocked it. Now Jay Octo for BU. Ahead to Ed Lowney. The draft choice of the Vancouver Canucks comes through center ice. Moves away from Schofield into the circle. It was deflected through the slot. It goes to Rico Rossi, the sophomore from Toronto. Ahead to Dave O'Brien. Avoids one man. Feeds it into Muse, and his shot right on. Tolliver made the save. And Octo feeds John Cullen. Now Scott Shaughnessy, the senior from Reading, gives it off to Octo and back to Shaughnessy. Shaughnessy on the move, avoids the check of Pavona. Lowney drives it in off the glove of Racine and into the corner. Steve Schofield there. Had it blocked by Kentala. He threw it on net. Racine directed it toward the corner. Scott Young takes it back, throws it out in front. Kelfer was triple teamed. Quinn with the free puck, threw it into the corner. He gives chase. Got it ahead to Young. Young out in front to Donatelli. Kelfer had it blocked by Racine. Kelfer, cross ice to Quinn. His pass went outside the line as he tried to feed fellow point man Tom Ryan. 18:20 to play in the second period. No score in the hockey game. Northeastern hosting Boston University. Ryan back in his own zone. He's a junior from Newton, Mass. Ahead to Clark Donatelli. Back cross ice for Ryan. He had trouble with it. Quinn picks up the free puck. Now Bill Whitfield for Northeastern. Drives it in from center ice. Rebound went all the way out to Donatelli. Now Young waits for Kelfer and Donatelli to get back onside. Gives it to Quinn. Quinn banks it off the boards. Racine leaves it to Marty Rouse, number 5. Around to Greg Pratt. He took a bump from Kelfer as he threw it to center ice. Rouse, Muda, and now Bill Whitfield. To the line to Pratt. He tried to backhand it in. Ryan blocked it. Pratt threw it in again in the play offside. 17:30 to play, second period, no score.
In the second period, 17:30 remaining, and we're still in a 0-0 tie between BU and Northeastern at Matthews Arena on the campus of Northeastern University.
This is the 109th meeting in the history of this rivalry. The Terriers, with a reasonable edge, they've won 80 and lost only 28 to the Huskies. There has never been a tie between these two teams. They're tied right now 0-0. Over the last 20 games, that margin is a lot less substantial in favor of the Terriers. They've won 12 over the last 20. Northeastern has won 8. Kiley knocked it down at center ice. It's taken back by Eric LaBrosse of BU. He throws it into the corner. Mike McDougall there after it. To Kiley, he poked it ahead to Joe McGinnis. Number 16, McGinnis could not feed Cuniff. Thiesing threw it back to center ice. Kiley wrapped up by LaBrosse. They go to the boards, and it's dumped in by May. Tolliver leaves it to Chris Werner. Cuniff into forecheck. Werner gives it off to Thiesing, back to Werner. Junior from Fergus Falls, Minnesota. Long pass, just a little bit too far ahead of Scott Sanders. McDougall with it. For Andy May. Now Kevin Heffernan, 2-on-2 with Canal across the line. Leaves it for Canal in the circle, and it was poked free by Octo. Sanders heads back the other way for BU. Sanders across the line to Pesk Lewis. Out in front, Preston had it blocked, and the puck is covered by a sprawling Mike McDougall. John Preston with the first good scoring opportunity of his collegiate career, and this is his first game as a varsity player.
I don't think McDougall intended to block the Preston shot. I think he went down much earlier and just happened to slide over in the vicinity of where Preston gets the puck. Watch McDougall. McDougall goes down right here. There's Preston with the shot. McDougall ends up smothering it.
16:11 to play, second period, no score. Off the faceoff, Brian Dowd has it. He went down behind the net. Preston knocked him down. Now Tom Much, the freshman from Canton, across to Roman Canal, and Canal dumps it in. Tolliver behind the net, leaves it for Preston, the freshman from Arlington, to Octo. Now Canal with the steal is shot right on, and Tolliver hangs on.
BU was in trouble right from the beginning on that because Tolliver made a very careless kind of stop with the puck behind the net, and BU was a little confused in the zone from that point on, lose the breakout pass, and Canal gets a point-blank shot from out above the face-off circle.
Drive from the point by Schofield, and it goes in. Steve Schofield with the drive from the point scores, and Northeastern has a 1-0 lead on the first collegiate goal for Steve Schofield.
Well, those in-zone face-offs kill you all the time. Heffernan gets this right back to Schofield on the draw. Watch the little spot just to the inside. See the foot move by Tolliver. He gives a little bit of room inside there. Much goes by, provides a little screen, but that puck's going to sneak right inside that post, deflect off and in the net. You could just see a little bit of room given by Tolliver. When the puck comes out to the point, he gives just enough for him to sneak the puck by.
At 4:11 of the second period, Steve Schofield, the sophomore, playing in just his 9th collegiate game up from the JV team. He's from Framingham, Mass. Gets the first goal of his collegiate career, and Northeastern leads 1-0. Hughes, the drive, blocked by Quinn, and that goes out of the rink. First line out there now for Northeastern. Muse between O'Brien and Rossi. It's the first line of BU. Also John Cullen between Kentala and Lowney. Whitfield and Rouse on defense for Northeastern. Ryan and Quinn for BU. Ryan spins away from Muse. Still bothered by Muse. Has to put the brakes on and retreat toward the net again. Quinn tried to feed Ryan. Instead, it went around to Cullen. Cullen had it deflected off Whitfield and out of the rink.
Looked like Northeastern gave them a different look on that breakout when BU set it up behind the net. Northeastern had 2 men in and then 2 men back, and 1 man taking a swing guy from Boston University out of the zone and confused BU on the breakout. Didn't know where to pass the puck.
Schofield from Heffernan at 4:11. Northeastern leads 1-0. Whitfield at the line is drive, gloved by Tolliver.
It's a way to keep the shot, though. Whitfield made that a tougher shot. Even though it was off net, they made Tolliver go down for it. Anytime you can make the goalie have to stop the puck down around his feet, you've really helped yourself. There's a shot by Whitfield going off net, but again, Tolliver has to reach down to pick it up. And on the goal, that puck was just off the ice inside the post.
Battle for possession off the face-off. And John Cullen has it for BU. Stopped by Rico Rossi. They battle along the boards, and David Quinn comes away with the puck. Off the glass, and the length of the ice goes to puck. Icing the call against the Terriers. 14:55 to play in the second period, and Northeastern leading BU 1-0.
Cullen and Rossi lucky to avoid a penalty over there. Boston Bruins hockey returns to Nesson on Thursday, December 18th, when we bring you the coverage of the Bruins taking on the Hartford Whalers. It's a very important Adams Division clash. The action begins at 7:30, but first get a complete NHL update on Bruins Digest with host Tom Larson at 7 o'clock. That's the Bruins and the Whalers next Thursday live on Nesson, where we deliver.
Down to 14:50 to play in the second period. Northeastern on a goal by Steve Schofield leads BU 1-0. Kelfer ahead for Young. Young around Kiley. Young across the line with Donatelli and Kelfer out in front. Tried to feed them and went between them. And the long rebound kept in by Werner at the line. Poked out by Buda. Thiesing gave it back to Bavona. He threw it in off Thiesing. Pratt along the boards. Has it. Feeds Buda. He got knocked down from behind by Young. Pratt threw it out in front again, and Young has it back. Ahead to Clark Donatelli. It's 3-on-3 through center ice. Donatelli tried to feed it back to Kelfer. Buda blocked it and got it ahead to Greg Pratt. Senior from Coventry, Rhode Island. Wrists it in. Tolliver gloves it. Leaves it for Dave Thiesing. Ahead to Donatelli. The junior from Providence had his pass intercepted by McGinnis, who throws it right back in for NU. May in a forecheck Thiesing. McGinnis with the steal. Threw it behind the net. Rebound takes another one of those strange bounces, and Brian Dowd had to go back to the neutral zone after it. Now Kelfer stopped at the line by McGinnis. Werner. Cuniff in pursuit. Werner got it to Shaughnessy. He dumped it in. Terriers in a line change. Schofield a long pass to Cuniff, trying to catch the Terriers in that line change. Pass is just a half stride ahead of Chris Cuniff. Octo, bothered by the forechecking of May, got it off to Shaughnessy. 1-0 Northeastern lead. 13:15 to play in the second period. Schofield around the boards, didn't get it out. Octo threw it back behind the net. Sanders was wrapped up by Dowd. And Schofield poked it to the line and out. Eric LaBrosse has it in the neutral zone for BU. Banks it back in. Brian Dowd has it back for Northeastern. Across to Schofield. Long pass did not connect with Cuniff. Here comes Andy May, the freshman. Lost the puck. He tried to move through the circle. Then got flattened by Jay Octo. Octo, Shaughnessy, Cuniff, and May all in the battle for the puck behind the net. Sullivan got it to LaBrosse. Canal in the forecheck. Now it's Mike Sullivan. Scott Sanders, 3-on-2 as they come across the red line. Sanders out in front, and LaBrosse was tangled up and fell down. Now to 12:25 to play in the second period, and Northeastern leading 1-0. Steve Schofield, the only goal of the game, the first of his collegiate career at 4:11 of the second period. Assisted by Heffernan. Sanders stole it from Dowd, puts it out in front. Cullen tried to get the backhander off with the net empty as Racine was down and out, but Heffernan took it away. Heffernan has Canal with him. Heffernan goes for the backhand and shoots it wide. Sanders tried to throw it out, got it ahead to Cullen. Tentola roused the man back. Tentola tries to cut in, and Racine poked it away. Heffernan takes a bump from Cullen, got it ahead to Canal. Lowney bothering Canal. Canal plays it ahead. Roman Canal to Kevin Heffernan. They got stopped at the line. Rouse threw it in, deflected off Tentola, and it's David Quinn behind his own net. 11:35 to play in the second period. Here's John Cullen. Tried to put it out in front where Kentola and Lowney were standing. Heffernan blocked it. Kentola throws it to Cullen in the corner. Cullen looking out in front as Quinn had snuck in from the defensive post. Racine has lost his stick. Out in front goes the puck, and Canal skates it off to Northeastern. Racine has his stick back as Canal moves across the line. Canal with the puck, thinking about a shot. Tries to beat Muse. It was just a bit ahead of him. Muse and Ryan in the corner. Now Cullen takes it away. It's been a long shift for John Cullen, Ville Kentola, and Ed Lowney, and they head off as they ice the puck. We'll take a break. 10:59 to play in the second period. The Huskies lead 1-0.
Who's that, Sanders? Scott Sanders comes in. He's going to set up John Cullen, and he just can't get the show. Watch him. He's going to try to put the backhand into an open net, and he can't. Heffernan comes over. They're going to battle over that puck just for a second, and Heffernan wins. Had he not won, Cullen had an open net.
Kelfer and Muse on the faceoff. 1-0 Northeastern leads. 10:59 to play in the second period. Steve Schofield, the only goal of the hockey game at 4:11 of the second period, assisted by Kevin Heffernan. Dave Thiesing banked it off the boards down at the Northeastern zone. O'Brien threw it back to center ice. Long pass finds Muse. He sidestepped Donatelli, but got slowed up enough to not catch the puck first. Now Muse has it in the corner. Had it blocked by Kelfer. Muse tries to take it back. Poked it free. Thiesing sweeps it around for Werner. Young got bumped by Rossi. They go after it in the corner. Muse, or rather O'Brien, into the circle, and his shot was blocked by Tolliver, who got a pad on it. Behind the net, Rossi tried to feed it back to Muse in the circle. Donatelli picked it off. Donatelli streaking across the line. Had it poked free by Jerry Kiley, and Rico Rossi picks up the free puck. Rossi has Kiley coming up from his defensive post, lost it on the pass off. Donatelli tried to feed it to Kelfer. It was half a stride ahead. McDougal back for Buda. To Rossi off his skate. Bavona with it. To Rossi. Rossi takes the shot. Tolliver kicked it out. Rossi poked it to Bavona, then got flattened by Octo. Bavona tried to duck under Shaughnessy. Shaughnessy stopped him. Kelfer backhanded the head and outside the line. They say Dowd brought it back in.
If I was Bavona, I would be trying to duck under Shaughnessy, too.
Yes.
You know, you don't make collisions. You're not going to last long in the league. You had collisions with Shaughnessy when you're Bavona's size. He just tried to, saw Shaughnessy coming and just tried to duck underneath him.
At 6'4", 225, it's a lot of target to have to try to duck under.
Here's a Rico Rossi shot, very similar to the goal scored by Schofield. Now watch, this time he's able to get that pad out and deflect wide. That wasn't far from going in either. That's a tough save to make when you have to move that skate and pad quickly to kick the puck out of the corner.
9:45 to play, second period, more than halfway through the hockey game. And Northeastern leads 1-0. Shaughnessy got double team, lost the puck. Bavona got tied up by Sullivan. They go to the corner after it. They'll get a face-off with 9:32 to play in the second period.
You know, Sean, the slowest thing that the goaltender moves is his pad and skate. And if you can get good shots down low, that's a great scoring area. The glove is the thing he moves the quickest, and he can move the blocker quickly and he moves the stick quickly. But if you can't move the feet as quickly, and we've seen tough shots down there this afternoon.
Sullivan won the face-off from Bavona and got it back to Scott Shaughnessy. Now Jay Octo. Long pass for Sanders, offside the call, and a little slow in coming was that whistle, but it was clearly offside.
Well, we're standing right on that blue line. There was no question about the offside, and it just seemed for a fraction there that the whistle wasn't going to be blown. That would have caused some argument. Jack Parker, the head coach of Boston University, has won a lot of hockey games, 282 career wins to 136 losses, 18 ties.
Octo ahead for Sullivan. The freshman out of BC High tries to feed Sanders. He got upended by Schofield, and Bavona took the puck away. Around to Dave Buda. Sophomore had his pass blocked by Sullivan. Buda got it back, got it ahead to Greg Pratt. The captain of the Huskies lost it to Scott Sanders. Sanders stopped by Bavona, got it inside the zone. Dowd back after it for Northeastern. The Huskies lead 1-0. 8:50 to play in the period. Sullivan out in front, goal! Scott Sanders takes the feed from Mike Sullivan. He was all alone and beat Bruce Racine. Sanders has tied it for BU 1-1.
Well, you're just going to see a bad turnover by Dowd in the zone. Watch him lose control of the puck as he's bothered inside. There's the forced turnover by Sullivan. You see LaBrosse getting himself in scoring position right there. Now Sullivan feeds him the puck, and LaBrosse bangs it in. Was that the man on the left? Was that Sanders on the left that got the goal?
Tough to tell.
Well, we may get a better shot at it. I mean, there's Sanders. This is the wide side.
It was LaBrosse.
LaBrosse, yeah. We called it right the first time.
I thought I saw Joe Albert point at Scott Sanders. We'll wait for the announcement to be sure, but it looked from our vantage point like it was clearly Eric LaBrosse. Bouncing puck out in front of Tolliver, and he hangs on. As the Huskies came right back down and tried to get the go-ahead goal again. They have given Sanders the goal. I thought I saw that was the man that Joe Albert pointed at. Goal number 6 of the season right now for Sanders from LaBrosse and Sullivan, the way they've announced it, but it looked like it was LaBrosse, number 15.
Yeah, watch LaBrosse right there. The pass from Sullivan is intended for LaBrosse. Now, let's see. Well, unless he missed it and Sanders did the rest of it, it looks like LaBrosse got the stick on the puck first.
Whitfield kept it into the line for Northeastern. 1-1 the score. That's the important thing, and we're down to 8:20 to play in the second period. Tom Bryant with McGinnis in the forecheck. McGinnis knocks Ryan down. Ryan falls on the puck. The face-off coming with 8:11 to play in the second period. 1-1 the score.
8:11 remaining. We have a 1-1 tie. BU and Northeastern.
Schofield with the goal for Northeastern. The team of Sanders and LaBrosse scored for BU. Werner had trouble with it inside his own line. Played it off to Thiesing. He banked it to center. McDougal threw it right back in for Northeastern. Tolliver leaves it behind the net for Chris Werner. They have added the assist to Mike Sullivan. Originally, they just announced Sanders from LaBrosse. Now it's Sanders from LaBrosse and Mike Sullivan. Cullen banked it into the zone. Much took it back, threw it to center ice. Thiesing with it, tried to bank it in. It struck Kentola. And in his own line, Jerry Kiley, and it knocked down by Cullen. Cullen ahead for Lowney as Kentola in front tried to get it to him. It struck the skate of McDougal. Heffernan leads the Husky rush the other way. Heffernan across the line. Goes around Thiesing into the circle. Lost the puck as Thiesing and Werner double-teamed him. And Werner threw it out all the way down to the Northeastern zone. Kentola battling 2 Huskies for it. Now Cullen with the free puck. Tried to feed the point man. Octo, it goes to Kentola, and he shot it wide. Shaughnessy, wrist shot kicked out by Racine. Octo, side of the circle, put it right on net. Racine steered it to the board. Shaughnessy into the circle, into the corner for Cullen. Cullen fanned on the centering speed. Lowney got it back to Octo. His drive deflected by Canal. Bouncing puck. Played forward but not out by McDougal. Shaughnessy to Kentola in the corner. Behind the net to Cullen. Cullen stopped by Kiley, and Racine covered the puck with 6:42 to play in the second period. Northeastern 1, BU 1.
Excellent puck movement by Boston University in the offensive end. Shaughnessy on the left point, keying it as he kept the puck in on the left point a number of times and got it into Kentola and Lowney and Cullen, and they had some offense going. But BU played pretty good defense as they weren't able to generate good shots.
Kelfer, Young, Donatelli, Octo, and Shaughnessy, the 5 from out there for Boston University. Hughes, Rossi, O'Brien, Dowd, and Schofield out there for Northeastern. Donatelli for Octo. Wrist shot, gloved by Racine, and he'll hang on once again.
That was a nice play by Donatelli coming off the faceoff. He was coming right to left, had a little trouble with the puck, so he didn't have anything himself, and instead of going to the point you'd think he might go to, which is Shaughnessy, he went back the other way. Watch, now you think he's going to Shaughnessy, now he comes back the other way and sets up a good shot to Octo, open, and he gets it on net.
Off the ensuing face-off, Octo's drive was deflected high in the air by Rossi, and again, Racine gloved it.
And had he not gloved it, he had nothing but trouble. If he let that puck bounce, it was Katie bar the door in front of the net. Well, BU Northeastern played pretty well on their own end this period. One mistake and lights out. Get a goal. 1-1 in the second period. 6:31 left.
Rossi off the face-off, played it back to Schofield. Around the boards to David O'Brien. Now Brian Dowd. Terriers doing a good job here, keeping the Huskies hemmed in their own zone. It's finally cleared away by Schofield. Scott Shaughnessy behind his own net. Muse in the forecheck. Shaughnessy got the puck to Donatelli. Muse bothered him as well. Donatelli flipped into the zone. Schofield back after it. Here comes Young. Schofield played it around the boards to O'Brien. He and Donatelli got tangled up. O'Brien moved away with the puck, got it to Muse. He got it out. Octo takes a couple of raps from Rossi. Gave it back to Dowd. Now Scott Shaughnessy banks it off the boards. O'Brien takes it back for NU. O'Brien avoided the check of Shaughnessy, lost the puck to Kelter. He throws it around the boards for Jay Octo. Octo and Rossi looking for a face-off. Rossi pushes down Octo, and the puck goes free to Shaughnessy. Dropped it, nobody there for the moment for BU. Octo picks it up, plays it back to Shaughnessy. 5.5 minutes to play in the second period. That's not icing. They say the Huskies could have played it. 1-1 is the score.
Well, they didn't even plastic man on their team to play it, I'll tell you that.
Ryan's pass intended for Sanders gets to Sullivan. Sullivan into the circle, goes for the shot, deflected wide off the glove of Racine. Sullivan made the right decision as LaBrosse was being covered out in front. Sanders tried to feed it cross ice. Bavona picked it off, got it ahead to Buda. Buda tried to get it to Pratt. He was wrapped up by the back check of Sanders. Back to the point goes the pass, but Rouse was not yet inside the line. He banked it off the boards. The Huskies way offside. 4:49 to play, second period. Still tied at 1.
Sullivan on the 2-on-1 left shot coming in the right side. Looks off, tries to get Racine to think the other man, but takes a shot himself. Racine makes a nice save with the glove. Good defense by Northeastern, picking up LaBrosse on the left wing and leaving the shooter for the goaltender.
Off the center ice draw, Lowney had one hand fall off the stick and couldn't drive it in. Now Thiesing had it go through the crowd wide. Pratt tries to bank it out and does so. Kentola in his own line across to Dave Thiesing. Rouse took it back for Northeastern. Gave it back to Thiesing. Ahead for Cullen. Now Kentola across the line. Kentola stops at the top of the slot. Look toward the point. Feeds it right between the 2-point men. Buda picked up the free puck. He comes across the line, 3-on-2. Bavona, that got all messed up. And it's Thiesing with the puck for BU. Very promising 3-on-2 coming across the line for Northeastern, but none of them had any idea which way the other fellows were going.
Well, Bavona was reading Whitfield, a defenseman, staying on the rush, and Whitfield went back and played defense, wasn't there.
Less than 4 minutes to play here in the second period. 1-1 is the score. Steve Schofield has scored for Northeastern. Scott Sanders for BU. Long pass, Rouse to Chris Cunningham. Tried to go around Ryan. Kelfer picked up the puck, threw it to an open wing. Kelfer has it back, plays it around for Tom Ryan. Ryan up the boards for Scott Young. He knocked it down. McGinnis threw it back behind the net for Northeastern. Quinn did not get it out. Rouse into the circle for May. Now a drive by Whitfield, deflected off Tolliver and hopped over the net. Whitfield moving up to try to keep it in. Can't do so. Young got it ahead to Donatelli. Donatelli on the move. Getting back is Cunningham, and he goes crashing down. Lost the puck. Young with it. Young tries a turnaround shot, deflected by McGinnis over the net. Telfer with it, back of the net, tried to kick it out in front of Rouse. Ices the puck away for Northeastern.
Boy, I thought Young was going to give that puck to Ryan that time. Looked like Ryan had a great shot coming in from the right side. He took it himself in traffic and wasn't able to do anything. I think Ryan had a better one. Here's a shot from Whitfield. You're going to see Tolliver make the save and then deflect it right over the top of the cage. Watch that one. Just misses. Going in, trickles over the top of the cage behind the net. Here's Donatelli on the rush. And he just gets popped in the corner. That's good defense. Take him off the puck by Cunningham.
Behind the net, LaBrosse knocked into the boards by Kiley. LaBrosse's hard work helped set up the BU goal. Octo a wrist shot, knocked down in front, and cleared across the line by the Huskies.
LaBrosse should have taken that backhand shot. He was in position. Just get it on net.
Kiley poked it ahead to the line to Canal. Canal tried to throw it out in front. Bouncing puck to Mudge. He knocked it down. Couldn't get a shot on net. Mike Sullivan for BU. His pass was too far ahead of LaBrosse. We're down to 2.5 minutes to play in the second period.
Are you going to say that Mudge didn't get much on it?
Heffernan, his shot blocked by Tolliver. Mudge in the corner with Shaughnessy. Shaughnessy plays it to the near corner to Octo. No, and I'm glad you did. Heffernan along the boards. Back to Kiley. Has it blocked by Sullivan. Bouncing puck. Mudge and Octo battling for it. They're along the boards with Sullivan. Canal in to help the Northeastern. Sullivan iced the puck between the legs of the Northeastern defenseman, icing the call. The face-off upcoming in the BU zone with 2:03 to play in the second period, and the game tied at 1.
Does that go alongside of Horner in the corner?
Horner in the corner.
A real good save.
Real good save by Sean Real.
And didn't get much on it.
Richter scales it in. Bob Whitelaw just volunteered in our headsets. Fred apparently used that as the scale. I didn't hear. I was at the game, so I wasn't watching the telecast. I didn't hear Fred say that.
That's beautiful. I wish I'd done that one.
Yeah. Rossi and Cullen on the face-off. Werner lost it to Muse, tried to feed Rossi in the circle. The puck went dead to Lowney. Lowney played it off the boards to himself and then threw it to the neutral zone. Here's Brian Dowd. Gave it away to Ed Lowney. Lowney across the line. Threw it across ice, too far ahead of Cullen. O'Brien got it out. Thiesing knocks it down in the neutral zone. Penthela to Cullen. Into the corner goes the puck. Along with Lowney and Schofield. They both go down. Lowney got it back to Thiesing. His drive deflected wide by O'Brien. Rossi looking ahead for O'Brien. Didn't get enough on the pass, and Werner picked it off. Werner drives it in wide of Racine. Rossi along the boards. Cullen in pursuit. Penthela back to the point to Werner. Across to Thiesing. Penalty coming up here, and it's going against Northeastern. Rico Rossi is being called for interference as he knocked down John Cullen out in front. That's the first penalty of the second period, only the fourth penalty of the hockey game, and the power play for BU in a 1-1 tie with 1:14 remaining in the second period.
It's the wrong time to take a penalty. Rossi behind the play knocks Cullen down, so BU will finish the period on power play unless they score a goal. Let's watch number 7, Rossi, most penalized player on this Northeastern team. There he is. There's Cullen right there with him, right corner of the screen by the net. There's Cullen. There's Rossi. There goes Cullen. And there's the right here. You see Albert in the corner, the left corner calling a penalty right on the call. Bad penalty. As you saw action going the other way, you take a penalty in the waning moments of a period. Now Northeastern, a team that has played very well in this game, 1-1 tie with 1:14 left. He's got to hold on now as BU goes on power play.
Rico Rossi now with 66 minutes in penalties this season, just 30. Behind the single-season Northeastern record of 96 set by Mark Laurie of the Huskies back in the 1984-85 season.
Well, some penalties, smart penalties, are necessary, and some are dumb, and that's in the latter category because it's a bad time to take it. This team has worked very hard over 5 periods now against Boston University and has played well, and in this game particularly have played exceptionally well defensively, and now they have a chance to go into the locker room, 1-1 tie with the third period up for grabs, and got to fight off a 2-minute power play or a minute and change power play here at the end.
Young across to Ryan. Ryan moved away from May. Behind the net to Kelfer. Kelfer looking out in front. Kiley bothering him. It goes to Young. Young's pass for Donatelli was blocked by Buda. Less than a minute to play in the second period. 1-1 the score as Tom Ryan dumps it right back in for BU. Racine plays it around the boards. Young up to try to keep it in. He did so. Donatelli wrapped up by Whitfield. Buda had it taken away by Lowney. Lowney got it to Kelfer in the corner. 35 seconds to play in the period. Kelfer falls down behind the net. Gets it along the boards to Tom Ryan. He got bumped by Andy May. The puck went to Lowney. Now behind the net, Kelfer. Kelfer tried to feed it back toward the point. Kiley got a stick on it. It goes all the way to the BU zone. 15 seconds left in the period as Cullen gets stopped at the line by Kiley. Ryan to Young. 10 seconds left in the period. Young's drive off the glove of Racine into the corner. Racine left it for Whitfield. Didn't get it out. 5 seconds left in the period. Young throws it to the open corner. Cullen back to Octo, and that's it for period 2. And 47 seconds of the Rossi penalty will carry over to the start of the third period. No scoring at the end of one period. 1 goal for each team in the second period. Schofield for Northeastern, Sanders for BU.
Good defensive period by both teams. Goaltenders made some good saves, but both teams played excellent defense. The major reason, I think, an absence of diagonal passes through the middle, both out of their own end and in the middle zone, have really minimized opportunities to have breakaways in this game, and that's good, solid discipline by both teams.
Coming up next, we'll talk with Northeastern coach Fern Flaman when Hockey East action on Nesson continues. Our guest is Fern Flaman, the coach of the Huskies. Coach, 1-1 hockey game, anyone's game going into the third period, and it seems that you'd probably be pleased with the way your team's played. It looks like a good effort out there this afternoon from the Huskies.
Well, I think both teams are playing pretty well. They're getting a lot of breaks, and I think it's a pretty even going both ways. I thought that the mistake we made inside of our net there cost us heavily, but that's the game, and hopefully we can come back to this period and start going again.
Coach, the first 2 periods have been the best team defense that I've seen you fellas playing well. Actually, you played pretty well the other night, too, but you have to be pleased with the way your team is playing as a team defensively.
I'm happy with it. Yes, the win-loss column, I'm not too happy because we're not getting the goals we should, but you can't do both. We don't have the goal scorers this year as we had last year, and we're just trying to develop some, and you can't hurry these kids along. If, you know, they get their breaks, they're going to get some goals. But right now, we've got to play defensively and wait for our breaks, and that's how we're going to win hockey games.
Fern, you talk about the absence of scoring, and it does seem that you have some fellas that aren't scoring for you as much as they might. Guys like Kevin Heffernan, who had 18 goals 2 years ago. Are you looking for more offense from him? And are there a couple of other guys that you can name in particular that you feel could give you more goals as the season goes along?
Well, it is. Kevin, we are looking for more goals from him. And there are a couple of more fellas that we're looking for goals. But it just hasn't come through. Maybe we overestimated the goal-scoring ability that they have. But Kevin has had a few breaks out here as far as getting shots, but they're just not going in for him. And when they're not going in for you, you get down on yourself, and you know, everything you do just doesn't work out. But hopefully that, you know, he can work his way out of it and do all right. I believe he's going to work or play in that Russian series over at Troy and at RPI, so hopefully that could build a little confidence for him.
All right, Coach, thanks very much, and good luck in the third period.
Thank you very much.
Our guest during the second intermission is Jay Octo, the All-American defenseman of the Boston University Terriers. Jay, we appreciate you coming out of the locker room to speak with us. We hope you can hear us over the din coming out of the public address system, and your thoughts about the good effort that the Terriers are giving it through 2 periods this afternoon.
Well, I thought we came out pretty hard in the first period, Sean. And we forechecked them well. We dumped the puck in their zone, and we got on them pretty well. But we came out in the second period a little reckless, I think, and they started to turn it over to their momentum a little bit.
Jay, your in-zone play, I think, tonight has been as good as I've seen it from BU standpoint and Northeastern's as well. Are you doing anything different in the defensive zone tonight than you have in other games?
I just think we're trying to get to the puck a little quicker and playing a little tighter in our own zone, you know, playing through the man a little bit more, which we haven't been doing in the past few games, like against BC.
What do you do about the weird bounces in here? Do you know where they all are, or do you just have to be ready all the time?
No, I think you just have to be ready for the bounces. You know, this rink's real small, and it's kind of tough to play in because the corners are real narrow. There's not too much corners, and you just have to be ready for that puck. You know, you don't know where it's coming, so you just have to be ready.
Jay, we mentioned at one point during the second period, Greg Pratt, the captain of the Huskies, former Mount St. Charles teammate of yours and a good friend. Is that difficult? A couple times you guys went into the corners together. Is there any temptation maybe not to go quite as hard when your buddy's standing there on the opposition?
No, never at all, Sean. I want to play him just as hard as I do anyone else on the Huskies, you know. And it gives me a little more incentive because I know him, you know. I want to hit him a little extra harder if anything.
Well, I hope he feels the same way in return, or else you might be at a slight competitive disadvantage there. Jay, we were also talking, it seems that we mentioned your All-American honor of a year ago, your Hockey East performances, the leading defensive scorer. It doesn't seem, however, that you get a lot of the publicity that a lot of the guys around the league get. Do you feel that way?
I don't know. That's tough to say from where I'm playing, you know, Sean. I couldn't really tell you, you know. I get some publicity when you score, you know. It's hard. Some people don't know when a defenseman plays defensive, they don't notice him as much, but when you get the points, I think they get noticed a little bit more.
Jay, we appreciate it. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
Jay Octo of the Boston University Terriers, our guest at the end of 2 periods. Bob, we have a little bit of a scoop here this afternoon. Santa's not going to be riding with the sleigh and the reindeer this year. He's going to be riding around on a Zamboni.
It's a modern Santa.
Indeed he is. This is our last game before the holidays, and as a matter of fact, it's our last telecast of this year. We're not on again until January 7th. And we want to wish everybody out there very happy holidays and a happy new year. Lowney throws it behind the net. BU on the power play to begin the third period in this 1-1 tie. Young couldn't keep it in. And the face-off will come outside the line with 29 seconds left on the penalty to Rico Rossi for interference that carried over from the second period.
Excellent defense on the one-on-one here. Just takes Cullen right off the shot, does Bill Whitfield, going down to block the shot. Delays on the shooter, makes him cough up the puck. He can't get anything generated off that 2-on-1 break.
Cullen and Buda on the face-off, controlled by Buda. Back to Whitfield, and he clears it away for Northeastern. Schofield, the only goal scorer for Northeastern. LaBrosse for BU. 1-1 the score as the third period is just underway. Play is offside at the line, and Northeastern has 16 seconds remaining to kill on the penalty to Rico Rossi. Andy May, a draft choice of the St. Louis Blues, a freshman from Orangeville, Ontario, has scored 3 goals in the first 14 games of his career.
He's a big, strong forward, right winger, 6'2", 200 pounds.
Pentola, Cullen takes the shot. Racine makes the save. Cullen with the rebound along the boards. 5 seconds left on the penalty. Cullen for Lowney, knocked away by McDougal. It goes to May, and out of the penalty box comes Rico Rossi. Rossi moving in to forecheck Scott Shaughnessy. They get tangled up behind the net as Octo starts up the ice, and Joey Albert is calling holding, and I believe it's going to be Scott Shaughnessy who's going off. It is. We'll take a break. 19:04 to play in the third period. We're tied at 1.
56 seconds of the third period. Rico Rossi has taken 1 penalty and caused 2 as he gets Shaughnessy upset at him as he comes in the board. Shaughnessy goes off for 2 minutes.
For holding, as Bob pointed out, at 56 seconds without any help on the math. And it's a power play. You really are.
Yeah.
You've made dramatic improvement. It is the glasses. Rouse across the line, flips it into the corner.
You can see the board.
David Quinn banks it along the boards, not out. Rouse kept it in. Rouse is on a point with Dowd. O'Brien, Rossi, and Muse up front, and Muse had the empty net waiting, but Donatelli and Quinn got there to poke it away.
When that shot came on net, Muse should have broken more quickly toward the net. He got himself a little, he was too slow coming to that deflection.
1:30 left on the penalty to Scott Shaughnessy. Scott Young with the puck, has Donatelli ahead. Young across the line, goes to the wrist shot. It was blocked partially by Dowd, and it trickled harmlessly toward the net. Muse gave it off to Rouse. He takes a bump from Young. Young and Donatelli in deep to forecheck. Ryan also racing up to try to keep it in. He couldn't. Rossi plays it ahead to David O'Brien. One-on-one with Quinn. Goes to the wrist shot, knocked down by Tolliver. Rossi and Muse got their signals crossed along the boards. 1 minute left on the Northeastern power play. 1-1 the score. 18 minutes remaining, third period. O'Brien tried to feed it to Muse. Ryan got a stick on it. Muse got it back to Dowd across to Rouse. Rouse tries a shot. Young blocked it. Rouse took too much time winding up. O'Brien had it poked away by Ryan. Got it back. Got it to Muse. Muse off the boards and back to Dowd. Hits it on the go, right on. Tolliver made the stop. The puck is free out in front. O'Brien had a poke at it. Takes it to the backhand and shoots it wide. Tolliver was down and out, but the Huskies couldn't put it behind him. They have 25 seconds left on the power play. Dowd moving in. His drive blocked by Tolliver. O'Brien with it in the corner. This is the best we've seen the Huskies on the power play in the 2 games. They were 0 for 6 against BU Wednesday night. Rouse across to Dowd. 10 seconds left on the man advantage for the Huskies. O'Brien fell down. Ryan took it away. Donatelli looks to rush. He got stopped by Dowd. Dowd threw it across to Rossi, and out of the box comes Shaughnessy. He runs right into Rossi. And Quinn sends it ahead in the direction of Lowney. Lowney and Dowd along the boards. Dowd knocked down Lowney, then got spilled himself. Kentola after it without his stick, looking for a face-off. Cullen in to try to help out. And Rouse got it ahead to Buda. Thiesing fanned on it at the line. Thiesing bothered by Buda. Got it into Lowney. Lowney into the slot. His shot blocked by Racine. Don't know how he saw it with Cullen standing right in front of him. Bavona got hauled down, and a penalty is coming up here against Boston University. And as Octo touches the puck, holding is the call. And Ville Kentola is heading off for the Terriers of BU with 16:30 remaining in the third period, and 1-1 is the score.
Boy, Eddie, we see the save by Tolliver here from the outside. Northeastern had some excellent chances on power play. That's Dowd from the left point. You're going to see Muse inside trying to take a whack at it, knock it in. He can't get it. O'Brien had the best chance on the backhander, but shot the backhander wide.
Chancellor off for holding at 3:30.
Well, down the other end, Racine made a great stop. Lowney super move to get open, and Racine stopped him with the pad.
BU consecutively shorthanded on the penalties here to Shaughnessy and Kentola to start the third period. There was just one penalty called in the second period. That was the minor to Rossi for interference. Dowd across out in front. It goes to Buda. Buda to Bavona. He let it go. Shaughnessy took it away from Pratt. Had it blocked by Bavona. Pratt kicked it free to Buda. Now Bavona behind the net. Back to the point. O'Brien keeps it in. O'Brien and Dowd, the point men on this Northeastern power play. Buda a drive blocked out in front. Buda to Pratt in the corner. Shaughnessy moving in on Pratt. Buda tied up by Octo. Octo took it away. Tries to clear it out. Dowd across for O'Brien. Into the circle for Bavona. Threw it out in front. Tolliver kicked it out. LaBrosse along the boards. Flipped it over the head of Dowd and all the way down to the Northeastern zone. 1 minute left on the power play. 15:30 to play. In the third period, 1-1 is the score, and Bavona's shot was deflected out of the rink. Face-off will come at the top of the face-off circle with 56 seconds left on the NU power play.
Washington University almost got caught in a change there as Bavona on the regroup came right up the middle. BU's defense sagged into the zone. Bavona penetrated, got a shot off, was deflected into the net behind the goal.
David O'Brien, junior from Brookline, Mass, 23 goals a year ago, and you brought up the question about him being a walk-on. I think he's a great example for high school athletes who feel like they have some ability, and yet they're not highly recruited. If you have confidence in your ability, you really have to give it a chance. You never know what will happen. You'll find, I think, that coaches are more than willing to at least give a player a look.
Oh, when I coached in New Hampshire, we kept our program afloat with a bunch of those guys.
David O'Brien certainly had some impressive credentials coming out of Brookline as well. Terriers with the steal and nearly set up something out in front. Muse has it back behind his own net for the Huskies. Impressive freshman Harry Muse gives it off to Andy May. And for O'Brien, he didn't see it coming. Quinn couldn't bank it out. May blocked it. Puck hops out of the rink, and the faceoff will come in the BU zone. 27 seconds left on the Northeastern power play. 1-1 the score.
Quinn made a smart move there, though. Even though he didn't clear it out, he made an indirect off the boards. In this rink, you don't get in that much trouble with an indirect off the boards, but you get in a lot of trouble if you try to make a clearing. See, that's the clearing pass that Jack Parker talked to us about at the end of the first period. He didn't get it out that time. You see, everything's over here against the boards. It's when in this rink, short and narrow, that you make that diagonal clearing pass cross ice that you get yourself in trouble. Too much traffic, people grouped up in the middle, and that gets intercepted.
Plus, another advantage of the indirect pass in this rink is no one knows where the puck's going when it hits the boards. Muse and Sullivan on the face-off. Shaughnessy and Rossi battling for it. They've been battling each other quite a bit this afternoon as well. LaBrosse sweeps it outside the line for BU. Just 15 seconds left on the Northeastern power play, and Jerry Kiley retreats behind his own net. Kiley and Dowd on defense. Muse, Rossi, and O'Brien up front for Northeastern. Muse, nice pass to O'Brien. O'Brien lost it as he tried to fly through the circle. Then gets hit hard by Shaughnessy. Muse got it back to the point. The power play is over, and the steal by Kenzela, who just came out of the penalty box. Kenzela in alone, and he scores! Ville Kenzela gives BU the lead 2-1 with 14:22 remaining in the third period.
You just have to be careful here. Diagonal pass. You can't. You got to look. You got to watch. Dowd never gets the puck, and away Kendall goes. I thought he might have delayed too long on this move, as Racine plays him pretty well out aggressively, does a butterfly, but can't quite get the stick down in time to stop it as he slides it just by the arm. Watch Racine try to get the stick down. Kentler just slides it underneath. Almost lost the puck there going right to left.
Second goal of his collegiate career for Ville Kentala, the freshman from Helsinki, Finland, and it's a 2-1 BU lead. The Terriers leading for the first time this afternoon. Goal coming at 5:38, unassisted, of the third period.
You know, this rink is like the Fenway Park, you know, ballparks. It's an old rink with a lot of character. It's seen a lot of hockey games, like Red Arena and the old Davis rink at Hanover. They had a lot of funny bounces, but it's all part of the game.
Thiesing ahead to Pest Lewis, and he backhands it into the zone for BU. Now it's Kevin Heffernan looking to break. He has Roman Canal to his left. Heffernan takes the shot and hit the pipe. A rocket for Kevin Heffernan. That's what Fern Fleming talked about between periods. He's been having a lot of bad breaks, and that's had a lot to do with the fact that his goal total is off a little bit from previous seasons.
He can't shoot the puck any better than that.
Canal in the corner. Back to the point to Whitfield. His drive through a crowd. Tolliver got a piece of it. Rouse the follow-up shot blocked by Pesk Lewis. Rouse had it back. Pesk Lewis poked it ahead. Here comes Mike Kelfer. He has Scott Sanders with him. Poked away by a sprawling Tom Bavona, and Bavona sends it ahead to Tom Much. Now Ryan of BU. Ryan at the red line drives it in wide of the net. Rouse poked the rebound to center ice. Bavona looking to break in. Bavona tried to get it to Pratt. He fanned on the pass. Ryan knocked down by Pratt behind the net, and Cullen backhands it ahead to Scott Sanders. Buda got back to take it away from him. 13 minutes to play in the third period. BU leads Northeastern 2-1. John Cullen threw it into the corner. Brian Dowd there to play it for Northeastern. Around to Pratt. It took another strange bounce. Pratt took it back from Cullen and got it down to the BU zone. David Quinn with Buda in the forecheck. Up the middle it goes to Cullen. And Lowney slap shot right on, and Bruce Racine makes the stop. And we have some pushing and shoving after the whistle. Dowd and Cullen tangled up. We'll take a break and we'll sort out the penalties for you when we return. 12:39 to play, third period. BU leads by 1.
7:21 of the third period. Score 2-1 Boston University. Brian Dowd is going to go off for 2 minutes. Watch Dowd and Cullen. They may get 4 minutes here. There's Dowd and Cullen. That's where it starts. Cullen gets nothing. Dowd gets 4. Wow.
Roughing and cross-checking. 2 minutes each for Brian Dowd. 2 for roughing, 2 for cross-checking. 7:21 the time. 4 minutes in penalties for Dowd, none for Cullen. This might have been the beginning of the problem, but perhaps it wasn't.
Well, nonetheless, that's a serious penalty. 12:39 to go. Northeastern, BU, both teams have played very well, but Northeastern is going to be shorthand for 4 minutes and gives Boston University a tremendous opportunity to begin to put this game away.
Young's drive from the point was blocked by May and cleared away by Whitfield.
Coming into the game, Northeastern's given up 15 goals and 75 power play attempts, 20%. BU has scored 12 goals and 59 attempts to their 20%.
Cullen across the line. Top side of the circle gives it off to Kentala. He scored the go-ahead goal. Octo to Young. Back to Jay Octo. Tried to cross-ice it, and May blocked it, but Octo kept it in. Around the boards, it goes to Kentala. 3:25 remaining on the penalties to Brian Dowd. Cullen behind the net. Bothered by McDougall, kicked it free to Kentala. Back to the point to Scott Young. His drive through a crowd went wide. McDougall tried to poke it away from Octo. Octo got it off to John Cullen. Cullen out in front, went off the skate of Lowney. Octo to Young. Young to Octo. Back to Scott Young, moved away from Buda. Ben Kentala. Now Lowney, his shot struck his own man Cullen out in front. McDougall fanned on the clearing effort. Lowney with it. To Kentala. 2:50 left on the penalty. Lowney in the slot, but tied up by May, and McDougall poked it away. BU leads 2-1. 11:20 to play, third period.
Nice defensive play by May, tying up Lowney. He was set up nicely there, but couldn't get the shot off.
Jerry Kiley sends it the length of the ice for the Huskies. They change up their short-handed unit. It's now Bavona, Rossi, Kiley, and Schofield. Rossi with the steal. Rossi to the forehand, tried to get a shot off. He was bothered by Donatelli. Bavona got spilled, and the crowd groans for a call.
They want a one on Young for tripping.
Donatelli across the line. Donatelli to the backhand, takes the shot. The save made by Racine. Rossi got it past Quinn and down to the BU zone. Ryan with Rossi in pursuit. They've killed off the first penalty. 2 minutes remaining on the penalties to Brian Dowd. Quinn, or rather Ryan, sent it ahead to Sanders. He dumped it off for Kelfer. It was poked across the line, and that play is offside as Quinn brought it back in. 1:47 left on the penalty.
Northeastern fortunate there as they get caught not making a good line change. BU had the puck across the red line heading into the zone when 2 men from Northeastern were coming on the ice.
David Quinn walking off disgustedly, and Tom Ryan is also down that runway, and he appeared to be shaken up as he went off and is being attended to by Al Visnick of the BU training staff.
Quinn just came back out again.
But Ryan's still down there and hunched over in the runway.
You worry about Quinn because he's been out so much this year, and you just hope that at this point in the season he doesn't re-injure anything, and like to see, always like to see any player coming back from an injury stay out there.
10:26 to play, third period. The Huskies of Northeastern trailing BU 2-1. A minute 47 left on the penalty to Brian Dowd. Buda won the faceoff. He got it back to Bill Whitfield, and Whitfield slides it back to the BU line. Jay Octo has it back for BU. He's on the point with Shaughnessy. Cullen, Sullivan, and Lowney up front on the BU power play. It's Buda, Pratt, Whitfield, and McDougall trying to kill off the remaining minute 30 left on the double minor to Brian Dowd. Jay Octo to Scott Shaughnessy. Shaughnessy drives it in from center ice. Cullen picks it up. Cullen out in front to Lowney, and it was swept away by Greg Pratt.
Northeastern's been playing excellent defense all game long. Both teams have, but on this shorthand, Northeastern, except for the first minute or so, has been excellent.
1:05 left on the power play for BU. 9:40 left, third period. It's a 2-1 Terrier lead. Bavona racing after it. Tried to take it away from Shaughnessy. Shaughnessy got it to Octo. At center ice, John Cullen. Bavona moves in on Cullen. 50 seconds left on the power play. Sullivan threw it into the zone and went past McDougall into the corner. Racine out to sweep it away from Lowney. Sullivan picks it up in the corner. Got hit by Whitfield. The puck goes to Cullen, top of the circle, to Werner at the point. Now it's Sullivan, back to Chris Werner. 30 seconds left on the power play, and Werner's passed it through Shaughnessy to center ice. 9:05 to play, third period. BU 2, Northeastern 1. McDougall flips it into the zone, and it's down to 20 seconds left on the double minor to Brian Dowd. Good job of penalty killing by the Huskies. Shaughnessy eludes Buda. Shaughnessy ahead for Donatelli. 8 seconds left on the power play. Bouncing puck out in front. Kiley kicked it to the corner. Kelfer poked it for Donatelli. Buda stopped him, and it was swept away by Schofield. That's it. That's icing, because the Huskies have killed the entire 4 minutes without yielding a goal. They still trail 2-1. 8:35 to play, third period. We'll take a break. We'll be back with more Hockey East action on Nesson right after this.
8:35 in the third period left. 2-1. BU leads Northeastern here at Matthews Arena.
David Quinn, drive from the point, went wide. The rebound came right out in front, and Schofield poked it to the board. Schofield has scored the only Northeastern goal that gave the Huskies a 1-0 lead at 4:11 of the second period, but LaBrosse and Kentola have scored for BU, and it's now a 2-1 Terrier lead. Donatelli takes the shot, deflected wide by Dowd. In the corner, Young threw it out in front. Dowd tried to clear it away. Bouncing puck goes back to Ryan. Ryan, top of the circle, takes a shot that goes wide. Quinn, a follow-up through a crowd. Rebound, shot wide by Young with Racine down and seemingly out. And it's Joe McGinnis. Had his clear in blocked by Ryan. O'Brien picked up the free puck. He got tied up by Quinn. Helfer poked it around to Young. Young bothered by Muse. Young looking for a face-off, and he gets it. I'm sure Young's still thinking about what happened at the other end of the ice. Racine was down, but Young shot it wide. Warm up with Nesson this winter when we bring you the best of Red Sox baseball from the 1986 season on Hot Stove Baseball. Tomorrow evening we'll feature the June 30th game between the American League champion Red Sox and the Toronto Blue Jays. The action begins at 6:30 p.m. That's Hot Stove Baseball tomorrow night right here on Nesson.
Watch this shot by Quinn. Racine makes a great save. Look at that save after a deflection in front. Just tremendous. And Young looks in disgust as he just has an open net to pop it in, can't.
Back come the Terriers. Sanders threw it out in front. It was swept away. Werner at the point got it back to the corner to Sanders. He was stopped by Whitfield. Rossi. Now Heffernan. He got stopped by Werner and Thiesing sent it back to center ice. Rouse played it back to Whitfield. Now to Rico Rossi, tried to feed Heffernan. Werner sends it the length of the ice, and that's icing against the Terriers.
That was not a great play by Kevin Heffernan as they had a 2-on-2 coming in. Both defensemen went with him. He tried to penetrate. Had a little shovel pass back inside the blue line. Didn't make it. Got broken up, and it went the other way.
Down to 7:13 to play in the third period. Boston University leads 2-1.
Heffernan, O'Brien, and Pratt for Northeastern. Quinn and Donatelli for Boston University among group of college players playing December 20th in Utica, New York, and December 21st in Troy against the Russian Spartak team.
Bouncing puck, top of the circle. And the Terriers clear it out. Kiley sent it back in, sent right back out by Octo to Kentola. Kentola scored the go-ahead goal, and the play is offside as the Terriers moved across the line. This program is authorized under broadcast rights granted by Hockey East to the New England Sports Network solely for the entertainment of our viewing audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or reproduction of this telecast without the written permission of NESN is prohibited. Sean McDonough along with Bob Norton, 7:02 remaining in the third period. 2-1 BU leads as Shaughnessy slides it back in for the Terriers. Racine left it for McDougal around the boards to Andy May. He lost it. Shaughnessy's drive blocked by Kiley. Kiley hobbling a bit after taking that in the ankle. Heffernan throws it to the far boards. Rico Rossi picks it up there and plays it back to Jerry Kiley. Kiley's a senior from Belmont, Mass. Stopped. Threw it to center ice. Octo fell down but still managed to pass the puck forward, and Kentola was offside. We talked about that. There's going to be 21 men from Hockey East, all of them U.S. Olympic prospects, playing 2 games next weekend, December 20th and 21st, against the Spartak team that's playing in Orono tonight. The December 20th game will be played in Utica, New York at Memorial Auditorium. December 21st, the game will take place at the Houston Fieldhouse in Troy, New York. Game time each night, 7:30 p.m. The games are arranged by Hockey East Commissioner Lou Lamorello in association with Art Murphy, who is the general manager for the 1988 U.S. Olympic team. But that's a good idea, and a lot of talented Hockey East players going to be involved in that.
Head coach of the team is Len Siglarski. Team captain is right here, Clark Donatelli of Boston University.
Kelfer and Bavona on the face-off. Down to 6.5 minutes to play. It's a 2-1 game. BU leads. Pratt goes into the corner. Got bothered by Ryan behind the net. And now it's Scott Young. Off the boards with Donatelli, tried to bank it in. It struck the linesman. Pratt clears it back in for Northeastern. Tolliver leaves it for David Quinn. Around for Young, tied up by Pratt. Pratt poked it free. It went to Ryan to Donatelli, and he slides it gently down toward Bruce Racine. Ryan Dowd, the junior from Hamilton, Ontario, up the middle to Bavona, had trouble with it. Sanders with the steal. Sanders into the circle. Tried to throw it in front. Schofield blocked it. Sanders goes through one man, puts a shot right on. The save was made by Racine, and the rebound was cleared away. Down to 5:35 to play in the third period. It's BU 2, Northeastern 1. LaBrosse and Kentel the goals for the Terriers. Schofield for Northeastern. Sullivan in the circle is drive right on, and Racine makes the save. We'll take a break. You're watching Hockey East action on NESN.
Face off to the right of Bruce Racine. 2-1 BU lead. 5:23 remaining here at Matthews Arena. Third period.
Sullivan and Muse on the face-off. Won by Muse. Back to Rouse. Long flip ahead for Rossi. Rossi's by himself momentarily. Waits for help. Gives it off to O'Brien into the circle. He was bothered by Sullivan and shot it wide. Matt Pesk-Lewis, the freshman. Flips it around to Dave Thiesing. Thiesing off the boards ahead to Sullivan. He got it past Rouse and down to the Northeastern zone. Whitfield there to play it. To Rico Rossi. Ahead for Harry Muse. Muse dumps it in with 4:55 remaining. Thiesing with O'Brien in pursuit. Got it ahead to Sanders. Now Sullivan. Sullivan with Pesk-Lewis. 2-on-3 across the line. Dumped it for Pesk-Lewis. Did not connect. David O'Brien through center ice. Avoids Pesk-Lewis. Comes across the line. Trying to go around Octo. Dumped it off for Whitfield. Out in front. Heffernan stopped by Tolliver. Heffernan has hit the post, and then he gets robbed by Tolliver. He's had a couple of great chances here in the third period. Octo tries to get it out and does. That goes the length of the ice. It will not be icing.
That was a great pass by Whitfield, too, to set Heffernan up.
Lowney dumps it back to Octo at the line. Just barely kept it in and shot it wide. Shaughnessy into the corner, blasted it. Almost struck Captain John Cullen. Lowney knocked it down. They say it was with a high stick, and the face-off will come down to the Terrier zone with 4:06 remaining in the third period. And Boston University leading Northeastern 2-1.
Kevin Heffernan just can't buy a goal. He's had good setups. He hit a post just a short while ago. Whitfield sets him up in front right here. Tolliver slides over, makes a tremendous stop, deflects it wide. Tough break, Heffernan. And as Fernie said, you know, once you start in a slump scoring, you know, you just seem to go on and on and on. You just need a break. All of a sudden, they'll come in bunches. He's probably wondering when.
Well, he's such a good kid and he works hard. I'm sure it's very frustrating, not only to the coaches, but to his teammates as well.
He's been in position to score, you know, and he's got the shot off quickly. The shot he got off that hit the post, that was a good shot. He got rid of that shot right there quickly. Tolliver, give him credit for a great sliding save coming over.
4 minutes exactly remaining in the third period. BU 2, Northeastern 1. Cullen, Kentula, Lowney, Quinn, and Ryan on the ice for BU. Heffernan, Much, McGinnis, Kiley, and McDougall for Northeastern. Much couldn't handle it along the boards. Quinn throws it into the corner to Cullen. Cullen moving into the circle, goes around McDougall. Racine poked it away. McDougall and Kiley. Now Lowney tried to throw it in front. McDougall has it back ahead to Much. Much got it outside the line. Quinn trying to freeze it. Gets double teamed. Much dug it free, but it went to Cullen. Cullen slides one in on Racine. He'll cover it with Lowney looking for a rebound. 3:29 remaining. BU 2, Northeastern 1.
The last couple of minutes, with the exception of a flurry here or there, BU has kept the puck down at the Northeastern end. Northeastern has got to get the puck across the center zone and into the zone, generate some offense here. 3:29 remaining, times running out on them.
Bavona and Kelfer on the draw. Kelfer fell down. Dowd wrapped up by Donatelli. Donatelli threw it into the corner. Kelfer got upended by Bavona. Jack Parker wanted an interference call, I think, on Bavona as he wiped out Kelfer. And Schofield sends it ahead to Buda. Buda poked free by Shaughnessy. Pratt waits for Buda to get back on side and dumps it in. 3:08 remaining. Bavona into forecheck Octo. Buda kicked it free. Kelfer took it and threw it to the near boards to Donatelli. Donatelli tried to get it out and did. Dowd lost it to Young. Young has Kelfer with him. Young feeds Kelfer, and Racine slid over and made the save. Big stop by Bruce Racine. That might have been the final nail in the coffin had Kelfer gotten it past him, but he slid over there and made the acrobatic stop.
Well, that's just a great pass by Young to Kelfer. We saw him do the same thing with Donatelli the other night. Tremendous save by Racine, matching the save by Tolliver at the other end. Look at Young pick him up, make that forehand pass, little lift over the defenseman's stick, and Kelfer can't convert the pass. Great stop, Bruce Racine.
Two pretty good plays by Young to feed that, lift it, and put it right down on Kelfer's stick, and by Kelfer to take it on the hop and put it on net.
A great play by all three. And the final play was the key one. That's the one made by Racine to keep it out.
Time running down, 2:45 remaining in the third period. BU leading Northeastern 2-1. Muse backhands it across the line. Quinn banks it right back out and down to the Northeastern zone. No icing. Whitfield was wrapped up by LeBras. Sanders picked up the puck in the corner, got it to LeBras. He got dumped by Rouse. And now O'Brien ahead for Muse. Muse trying to go around Ryan. And nice job by Tom Ryan to take Muse into the corner. Quinn and Rossi there. The puck comes free to Sanders. We have a whistle, and play is stopped behind the net. I guess the referee, Joe Albert, lost sight of the puck would be...
he might have thought it was under the four players, didn't realize it was heading up the other way. That was a great play by Ryan, playing the body off the puck, playing Muse right into the corner, not fishing for the puck at all, taking the one-on-one into the corner, finishing the man in the right there. That's just excellent defense by BU. Both men taken into the corner, not allowed to get off the boards and continue to play.
Northeastern won the face-off, but the puck cleared the zone. We're down to 2:08 to play in the third period. BU 2, Northeastern 1. Andy May lost it in the neutral zone. Shaughnessy's pass deflected off his own man and carried into his own zone. Jay Octo behind his own net. Ahead for Kentula did not connect, and that will be icing against the Terriers. 1:53 remaining, and BU leading by a goal.
The other night, with down 2 goals, Freddie Flaman waited till about 1 minute and 20 seconds to pull the goaltender.
BU beat Northeastern 4-2 Wednesday night, trying to make it 2 in a row over the Huskies. Heffernan to take the face-off with Cullen. Jack Parker has the tendency to substitute late sometimes, and I think I've heard some opposing coaches complain to the officials about it from our various vantage points. That was a bit of a late substitution right there, but Donatelli and Kelfer were allowed to come on.
As long as they let you do it, you got to keep doing it.
Sure. Kelfer Sent the draw to the board. Tolliver, and he'll cover it. That killed 3 seconds, 1:50 to play.
Actually, as the visiting team, he doesn't have the last substitution.
No, he doesn't.
But by substituting late, he gets it.
Again, Kelfer and Heffernan on the face-off. Donatelli moved through the circle, and they'll try again.
See, if you're concerned about it, you send somebody over yourself and maybe get a whistle to stop both of them.
Heffernan drew it back. McDougal throws it behind the net. No Huskies are there. Octo gets it ahead to Young. Kiley came up to keep it in. Octo couldn't get it out. Heffernan kept it in. It went off a skate. May goes to the boards with Donatelli. May tried to center it. Shaughnessy blocked it. 1:30 to play. Racine is creeping out of the net. Shaughnessy tried to cover it. Couldn't do so. May tried to feed it to Heffernan. Tolliver poked it away. May threw it out in front. Nobody there for Northeastern. And Octo beats Donatelli. He and Young look to break away. The pass for Young was deflected by Kiley, and that put the play offside at the line. 1:16 remaining. BU leads 2-1.
What I find frequently happens with younger players is that when you're in a tight situation late in the game and you need a goal, they absolutely forget about the points. They almost think you have to get that goal from inside and strictly make the inside play. That time they had points wide open, right and left, and if they slipped it outside, they'd have maintained control of the puck and had a far better play than just find it in front to with no one there.
Timeout has been called on the ice, probably by Northeastern. And indeed, it was called by Northeastern. With 1:16 remaining, BU leading 2-1. Eric LaBrosse and Ville Kentola have scored the goals for Boston University. Steve Schofield, the first of his collegiate career, the only Northeastern goal.
The advantage of saving your timeout for the very end of the game, and you know, there are frequently times in the middle of the game when you'd like to call it and regroup before things get away from you. But the advantage of saving it to the end is if they've just played the 5 they won on the ice late, they can take this timeout and play them again.
Be sure to join Nesson on Tuesday when we'll feature Nesson WWF Wrestling from Boston Garden. Tape-delayed coverage begins at 7:30. That's Tuesday. Nesson WWF Wrestling. Here on Nesson, we deliver.
Jack Kelly, the legendary BU coach, used to create a timeout before the timeout ever existed. In this kind of situation, frequently, over and over again, so many times it became aggravating, the goaltender would have some equipment problem. And it would be some snap that would have, just happened to come loose, and he'd be coming over the bench to have to fix it, and all of a sudden you'd look out again, and the same horses that were just out there were out there again. That was a timeout before its time.
You would imagine that Racine will be bolting from the net should the Huskies be able to move it into their offensive zone off this face-off. Sullivan and Muse to take the draw. Muse, O'Brien, Rossi, Dowd, and Buddha out there for Northeastern. Extra forward on, 4 forwards and a defenseman right now for Fern Clemens Huskies as David O'Brien is playing defense. He kicks it ahead to center ice. Sullivan took it back, had trouble with it. Sullivan got knocked down. Bouncing puck in center zone. Brian Dowd gave it back to Sullivan. He got knocked down by Rossi. Less than a minute to play as Sanders drives it in.
It sort of stymies you're taking the goaltender out when you have it down your own end.
Yes. Clear out pass did not connect, and Ryan flips it high in the air back in. Knocked down by David O'Brien. Got double teamed along the boards. The puck went high in the air. Muse kicked it out. Muse stopped in the neutral zone by Ryan, and Sanders dumps it back in. 35 seconds to play. You see the time remaining. The left corner of your screen. Brian Dowd ahead for Muse. Muse across the line. Out comes Racine. The extra attacker on for Northeastern. Tolliver along the boards. Muse tied up to man LaBrosse, and they get the face-off upcoming to the left of Terry Tolliver with 20 seconds to go, and BU leading 2-1.
That's what they wanted to get. They wanted to make sure they had at the minimum, got a face-off in the zone. Now they can line it up, try to draw it back, I would think. Get a shot off from the point. They don't have too much time to mess around with the puck. If BU clears it out one time, Northeastern's in, I think it's just about over. So they've got to get something off this face-off. They'll have everybody, I think, lined up across in front, try to get the shot back to the draw man, and then get something. O'Brien is a man behind, get the draw back to him, have him shoot it on the net and try to go for a rebound.
And BU saw how Northeastern lined up, and then Jack Parker called the timeout. So they're going to discuss their defensive strategy here with 20 seconds remaining. An own zone face-off, and the Terriers leading 2-1.
Yeah, well, I don't think there's another way to line up. There may be another way to line up, but I don't think in this situation, only 20 seconds ago, there's realistically another way to line up, because you got to get the draw back get the shot on the net, and then try to whack away in front of the net and knock the rebound in. If BU can get control of the puck and flips it out of the zone to center zone, almost all of the 20 seconds is going to be gone.
Fern Flaman and Don McKenney instructing the troops.
Fernie's trying to, I'm sure he's trying to line up who's going to be back there. You see him move with that right hand. He wants to have a right shot over on this side. If the draw comes back, I think he wants to have a right shot back to get the shot off rather than a left shot, but we'll see. You have to do that sometimes. You figure out what shot is a center. I want the center to be a left shot, and I want the guy back to be a right shot. If the center's not a left shot, he can't bring it back that way. You got to sort of try to figure out shot hands.
And the Terriers huddled around Jack Parker, Bobby Richardson, and Ben Smith. It's Cullen, Lowney, and Donatelli with Shaughnessy and Octo on defense for BU. Heffernan will take the face-off. Buda, Rossi, Dowd, Muse, and O'Brien also on the ice for Northeastern. The Huskies trail 2-1 with 20 seconds to play.
They lined up same way, straight across, 5 across, 1 back. Now they'll try to pick Donatelli. Donatelli, the man inside the face-off circle by Donatelli. Right there, you see Donatelli. He's trying to make sure he gets loose because he's going to try to get to O'Brien.
Face-off goes to Buda. He had trouble with it. Buda has it back and tried to tuck it home, and Tolliver blocked it. Battle for the puck. O'Brien keeps it in. 10 seconds to play. Heffernan got jolted by Octo. Bouncing puck out in front. Back to the point. BU's on its way to the victory as Cullen skates it off. 3 seconds to go. Cullen adds to his goal total with 1 second remaining. And Boston University will win the hockey game by a score of 3-1. And John Cullen has moved into a tie for second place on the all-time Terrier point list. That's career point number 208. That ties him with Mike Aruzioni. They're both 2 points behind all-time leading scorer Rick Mahar on the BU scoring list.
Northeastern got everything out of that they wanted except the goal. They got the puck to go toward the net. They were able to get some offense toward the net. They kept the puck in there about 13 seconds. They just couldn't get the puck by. Tolliver couldn't really get a good shot off at him. And when it finally came out, Cullen had it through center zone, knocked it into the goal.
At 19:59 of the third period. So the Terriers started the series against the Huskies on Wednesday night, coming in, having been winless in their last 5, but Jack Parker's team has won both games against the Huskies. The final score here this afternoon, Boston University 3 and Northeastern 1. We'll return to Matthews Arena right after this.